902.
We hope you have the right app on your phone for news. You probably have dozens.
But the KSL News Radio app, well, it makes our live stream super easy.
Plus, our talk shows are right there as podcast for your workday.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
This is Todd Frayton's heart. He's begun his wellness journey. This is its sound on a treadmill, at a slight incline, on a stroll through the forest. And this is the heart of Maria Sanchez, his physician. What's it doing here? A lot, actually. Because when we partner with you, we don't just offer a strategic plan and status updates. We put our hearts into it, beat for beat. We call it the power of we, Intermountain Health.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Heather Kelly.
Well, we're now accident-free all across the Wasatch Front, but we still have a little bit of slowing northbound I-15 as you make your way from Midvale to Murray, and again approaching the South Salt Lake area around the Spaghetti Bowl. Other than that, things are looking good on the 201 freeway and I-80 coming out of Tooele County, as well as I-80 to and from Park City. Transform your outdated kitchen with half-price granite. Granite, quartz, marble, and quartzite starting at $25 per square foot installed. Visit halfpricegranite.com. Affordable luxury. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
You can expect some more storms today. Highs will be in the mid-80s with winds up to 20 miles an hour. Right now, it's cloudy and 70 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
And one of our biggest stories today is going to be what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine has seized, according to CNN, Dave, as much land in a week as Russia has so far this year. And they're now into Russia.
They invaded Russia. That is incredible. Can we wrap our heads around that? Can you imagine if another country came into our country? I mean, doesn't matter if you're at war. This is a huge development in the Ukraine-Russia war, and we will learn more throughout the day. It's 9:06. It's time for the launch.
Sequence engaged.
And here are 3 things that Debbie wants you to know.
Countdown. 3.
And that is one of the 3. It is being called a major embarrassment for the Kremlin. The Russia-Ukraine war, it suddenly feels like it's flipped. Ukraine now occupying what's reported as 380 square miles of Russian territory, including Russian villages. We're going to hear more of a report from ABC News' Ian Pannell. Here's part of his report.
2 key questions, I think, this morning. How much Russian territory can Ukraine take, and is it capable of holding on to it?
This is the first time foreign troops have entered Russian territory since World War II. As you said, Debbie, this is a major embarrassment. Maybe this is the move that brings this war to a close.
Countdown. 2.
Here at home, it is back to school week. What's become of the uphill both ways? Remember when I was a kid?
The good old days. Mom and Dad just let you get to school.
Stats show when I was a kid, which was a really long time ago, kids. Half of us walked or we rode our bikes to school. There were no options. There were no parent taxis back then. Now it's somewhere below 15%. Why? Maybe we're worried about our kids' safety? But there is a target age, Dave, that shows kids do very well at this particular age to start walking to school. I'll let you know what that age is when we talk walking and riding our bikes back to school starting at 10:05.
I would like to address the why, because I think I know why. We are so soft. We are such loving parents. Like only a terrible parent would ask their kid to walk to school. There is so much pressure to drive our kids to school right now, and I despise it.
Launch countdown. 1.
Well, it certainly happened to me. I think many of our listeners will have a story that it's happened to them. Maybe it's been worse for you than it has been for me, getting caught in the misery of trying to cancel a subscription service or a membership. Dave, I had to send an email one time because I wanted to cancel my monthly car wash subscription while I moved and I figured things. An email. And then I had to wait and wait. Well, President Biden and his team wants to change that.
Americans are tired of being played for suckers, from excessive paperwork and unreasonable hold times to the endless hurdles some companies make you jump through.
Played for suckers. It is so true. We do. We fall for it over and over and over again. We do. We sign up for it. We think, oh, well, I'll just cancel it in 2 weeks. And then you forget about it, and it goes on forever. And then $10,000 later, you're like, oh, do I still have that subscription that I've never used?
Dave and Dujanovic.
The launch.
Commence.
Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top national story.
Let's start our Tuesday by sounding off on pesky subscriptions. The Biden administration asking companies to make it easy to cancel subscriptions and memberships. As easy as it is when we sign up for them.
Americans are tired of being played for suckers.
Well, yesterday, the Biden administration announced it's trying to implement rules that would make it easier to cancel subscriptions. Everything from gyms to magazines to monthly makeup boxes.
From excessive paperwork and unreasonable hold times to the endless hurdles some companies make you jump through.
Under a proposal from the Federal Trade Commission, companies would have to make it at least as easy to cancel something as it was to subscribe. So you let people sign up online? Well, great. That means they have to be able to cancel online. You let them subscribe in less than 4 clicks? Well, that's how many clicks your cancellation policy now has to take.
And the beauty here is he's asking them nicely right now, because if they don't start playing ball, gonna drop the hammer.
What's your hot take?
I am so grateful for President Biden right now. Like this, if there's a great idea out there to be had, I don't care what your political persuasion is. I don't care if you're Green Party, Libertarian, Democrat. If there's a great idea out there, can we, for the love, just hug it, embrace it, and love it? Is there anyone that's arguing that we should make canceling a subscription just a little bit easier? How many of us, and I think we'll get into this in a little bit, Deb.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to hear your horror stories. I know you are itching to make a phone call to the Dave and Dujanovic Show to tell us your horror story. We want to hear it because we got some of our own.
Okay, so this is kind of the breakdown of how this would work. It's a rule. So a rule through the FTC, the FCC, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, all of the alphabet agencies will get together. They'll have a rule to protect customers. So it'll allow us to cut through these automated customer service doom loops by being able to press a single button to reach a real person. I recently had an experience, not with a subscription, but with something else, when I got stuck in a doom loop. I believe I was speaking to AI for weeks, and I finally decided to press a single button, make the phone call, I talked to a human, bam, I got my refund.
Yeah, because doom loops are there for a reason. They want to make it as miserable as possible so that you hang up. How many times have you done that? You call somebody, you get put on hold. Hey, we'll call you back. Yeah, sure you will. I bet you will. Just press 4. We will call you back when a representative is available. That phone call has never been returned in the history of my life. But doom loops are designed for that, to make it frustrating. So you're like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth my time to cancel the $4.99.
So Forbes is reporting that we're paying about $77 each month, which adds up to almost $1,000 a year, not quite, for subscriptions. And this is specifically for streaming services. So whatever streaming service you're into.
Okay, so this is Netflix, Apple TV,
Yeah.
Hulu, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it
77.
Yeah. 57 of the people who were surveyed have either canceled a subscription because of a rate hike. A third of them have paid for an upgrade to avoid watching ads. Okay, but the point is, if you're canceling a subscription because of a rate hike, you do not want to get caught in a doom loop to the point where you got to put down your phone or close your laptop, run to work. Then you forget until it posts again to your credit card. And that, you just want to be able to make sure you can do it immediately. And I think that has been one of the biggest frustrations for me. First of all, keeping track of all of these subscriptions is tricky enough. Okay, we're in a new world. I get it. But then not being able to quickly cancel them on the app. Sometimes I have to go to the website.
Oh, if you can sign up on your phone and you have to go to a desktop.
It's happened to me.
That is the worst thing you can do in America.
You know what I forgot? I kept forgetting to go to the desktop.
Yeah, because we use our phones, you crazy people. So I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. Now, some people may say that the Biden administration tackling junk fees and tackling subscriptions is small potatoes. I love these potatoes. I want all of these potatoes. The au gratin, I like the mashed, all of it, because this affects us every single day of our lives.
Next, let's stuff that bag of potatoes with all of the subscriptions. We're going to walk through how many subscriptions we're facing and how difficult it is to get out of some of these subscriptions. And then in 15 minutes, stand by, because we're going to ramp up the phone lines for your live calls.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Current events can have a lot of moving parts. Our job is to make it easy to keep up.
You're part of a bigger world, so spend 15 or 20 minutes here and be part of it.
Join us weekday mornings between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Debbie, you and I sat down with Steve, one of the owners of Master Electrical, and I was just so impressed with how seriously they take their customer service. You've been experiencing this for so long, and now we have some incredibly cool news for them. They've joined up with Mountain Home Services. So not only do you get your electrical needs, but now you can get help with your HVAC. That's your heating and air, your plumbing, water quality, all of that stuff. One-stop shopping.
Yeah, I love this one-stop shopping. Congrats to Master Electrical Service and Mountain Home Services. And also, this is great for customer service because, as you said, Dave, not only can you get your electrical needs met and all of those problem spots in your house fixed through their expertise dealing with electrical, but now you can turn to them as well to help with your HVAC and your air conditioning.
Clogged drains. Absolutely. Clogged drains for days. Upfront pricing guarantee is still part of Mountain Home Services now. No hidden fees, and there's 100% satisfaction guarantee.
They're the company we trust, and so can you. So here's the website, mountainhomeutah.com. Again, mountainhomeutah.com.
Get to know Mountain Home Services, 801-543-2222. That's 801-543-2222.
Smith Entertainment breaks ground for a new Utah Hockey Club training facility at the Shops at Southtown.
Wait, what? Is this going to cost me my business?
Maybe. Hockey fever in Utah, the upside and the other side.
But I don't want to move.
This week on KSL News Radio.
This is Derek Overstreet of the New Millennium Group and host of Stop Working and Start Living Radio. If you're close to or in retirement and you don't have a tax plan, call us right now, 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. Listen, our country's been spending like never before, and the tax bill is coming soon. If you need an income tax strategy and a financial plan that will get you through the rest of your life, give my team a call, 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. If you want an investment plan that allows you to keep more of your gains and pay less taxes, give us a call, 888-999-6370. My team specializes in the type of plan that will get you retired 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible. So, get a no-cost tax analysis by calling 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. My team is standing by now.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. I want to tell you about our famous "You Don't Need a Warranty" warranty. That's right, it's a warranty you don't need, but we give it to you anyway. Let me explain. Most warranty problems for siding, gutters, and windows are caused by not installing stuff right in the first place. If you rush the work, cut corners, or use subpar materials, you're just begging for problems later. At RGS Exteriors, we don't tolerate careless workmanship. We slow down, focus on every detail, and use only the best materials. We prevent warranty work by doing the job right in the first place. That's why the 10-year everything guarantee we give you is also known as our "You Don't Need a Warranty" warranty. We absolutely will be there if you need to use it. But honestly, you probably will never have to. Done right the first time. That's the RGS way. For siding, gutters, and windows, call 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsexteriors.com.
Emergency traffic brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app, and we've got a pretty bad crash southbound I-15 right at the top of the on-ramp from 2600 south in Woods Cross. 2 left lanes and 2 right lanes. Both shoulders are completely blocked. Traffic is being funneled through the center lanes, and it's brought traffic pretty much to a standstill all the way back to 400 North and Bountiful, and the delays will keep going into Centerville until they reopen the lanes of travel. So just be aware it's going to take you an extra 10 to 15 minutes at least to get through portions of Davis County. Heather Kelly and the KSL Traffic Center.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, some major construction work in Cottonwood Heights today. The intersection of Wasatch Boulevard and Fort Union Boulevard will be closed until 9 tonight. Second, the Moab City Council is going forward with a plan to collect property taxes for the first time since 1991. The average homeowner will now pay around $613. And third, classrooms will be hot just in time for back to school. Many teachers are telling parents to send kids in cool clothes with plenty of water. Right now it's 70 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. Dave and Dujanovic.
So many of us have been stuck in subscription jail. It's like we get admitted to the subscription, but then there's no way out. That the Biden administration is saying enough is enough, and they're doing something about it.
Americans are tired of being played for suckers, from excessive paperwork and unreasonable hold times to the endless hurdles some companies make you jump through.
That was White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. And I'm quite honestly so grateful they're addressing this. This is a great idea. The Biden administration has tackled a couple of things that seem like small potatoes. First, they tackled junk fees. So if you're buying a ticket, or whether it's airlines or concert tickets, all those fees that you just get hit with, you don't really see, they said, you have to tell us up front what it's going to cost you. That's been a fantastic change. So we really know what we're buying, what it's going to cost. So that's a good win. That's a great thing to address junk fees. But to address canceling subscriptions, something that I just thought it was a frustration for the rest of my life. I didn't realize the president of the United States would have to step in and fix this problem.
Well, think about it. If you're a company, it makes it difficult. And you've got somebody like me on the other end trying to cancel. And then, we all have things going on, right? And you spend 20 or 30 minutes trying to just cancel one subscription. Maybe you have success at it. Maybe you don't. But if you don't have success at it, they just collect another $10 for the next month. Think about it. I let a streaming service subscription go for months. Okay. At the end of the day, those 4 months that went by that I meant, kept like, I got to cancel it. Maybe it only adds up to, less than $40. Is it going to break the bank? No. But if it's happening to you and it's happening to the next person, and that's just one subscription. The reason I put it off was actually I tried to cancel it on my phone. But they required me to go to the actual website. Okay. So now I got to go to the website. Well, all the website information, and it just became so complicated, was on my laptop. So I was having a hard time logging in from my phone, so I had to get back to my laptop. Do you think my laptop is charged up and ready to go at a moment? No,
Never.
I live on my iPad and on my iPhone. So every time I thought about it, I was like, well, I got to go plug that in, and it's upstairs, and I think I got to crawl under the bed to get it out, because that's exactly where my laptop is, all you burglars. It's right under the bed upstairs. And so, so this is what ends up happening. It is a frustration. I like your point, what you said. Yeah, I just thought I was going to have to live with it for the rest of my life. But what they want to do is make it so make it as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. So if it's 3 or 4 clicks to sign up, it shouldn't be, send an email, wait for a response, log back in over here, wait for us to get back to you, Betty Sue will call you in a week. No, it just should be 3 or 4 clicks to unsubscribe.
It should be absolutely that easy. And in part why I'm so juiced about this topic is because I had a gym membership, and they are infamous. Gyms are infamous for being impossible to drop. But I'd signed a year contract. I went through my year, and I just wanted to cancel it. So I reach out to them, and they're like, oh, we can't do this over the phone. You've got to come in. That's ridiculous, but fine, I guess. I accepted that to be true. So, we don't do this over the phone. How do we know it's you? We've got to be able to see you. I'm like, trust me, you haven't seen me for the past year. You have no idea who I am in the first place. So I have to walk in and I'm like, hello, Mr. Who? Nice to meet you. First time yeah, I get it. But they charged me $100 to close it because I didn't do it in time or I was 3 days too late. Whatever it was, I said, I don't care. Just do it. I will never come in here again. You've lost me forever. I haven't stepped foot in it since. And that was such a miserable experience. I will never work with that company again, ever.
you even avoid driving by it?
Yeah.
I've had those experiences.
If I do,
too.
it's like with a stink eye, like a real stink eye as I pass.
Telling Google Maps to reroute you.
Yeah.
I've had that. I can tend to get bitter and I don't let go. It could be 30 years ago. And I have an example. I'd love to see what you think about this. So I had a car wash membership. I know. It was just unlimited. It was lovely. And
I'm not judging because I'm thinking about it. So I'm listening closely to your story.
Well, it was so convenient because when I signed up for it, and it was pretty inexpensive. It certainly beat trying to go to the car wash once a week and paying, as I went. And I go to the car wash about once or twice a week if I'm feeling it. I mean, there's times when I'm like, oh, it's been 2 weeks since I've washed this beauty. I need to get her through the car wash. So this car wash was so close to my house, Dave. Like I couldn't help but drive by it no matter where I was going. So it was worked out. Well, I move. And now it's out of my way. Not terribly out of my way, but just out of my way enough that I'm like, I got to rethink the whole car wash plan. Plus, I bought a car and the dealership has like car wash. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do the dealership, right, instead. Anyway, that didn't really work out. That was a good idea. That didn't work out for me, even though I love the dealership. Okay. So I canceled. Well, it's required me to send an email to cancel. So, I just wanted to be able to, hey, next time I went through the drive-through, the car wash, just shout out the window, hey, I need to you got to send an email. Then you got to wait for corporate to get back to you. And this went on for quite a few days. So this has to stay on my list of things to remember to do.
It's taking up brain power.
A lot.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they canceled me. Not the end of that day, but at the end of the email cycle, they canceled me. And then, I'm back there again. But I took about a year off and tried to figure things out. But I wished I could have just gone to the website, hit a button, or better yet, next time I went through the drive-thru, hey.
Yes. That's
where I signed up.
Exactly. And that's what this new Biden proposal would require companies to do is if they ask you at the window, hey, do you want to sign up for this monthly pass? And you say yes, then you will be able to cancel it at the window, just that easy. There is absolutely no reason why you would have to send an email or log in or do anything complicated. I mean, maybe you have to log in, but that you shouldn't have to jump through any more hoops to cancel than you do to sign up. And that is the key here. And it's why it's a genius move. I really like it. I don't think it's too small for the president of the United States because no one else has changed it. This is not a new complaint, but we want to hear from you. 801-575-TALK. Give us a phone call right now. Spare the company's name. Please spare the company's name, but we want to hear your horror story. How long it's taken you, what you did to get rid of your subscription, because I need to learn from you. You need to be my mentor, my inspiration, because apparently I just can't do it. I can't get these things canceled. I want your tips and tricks. 801-575-TALK. How do you get your stuff canceled? Your horror stories next.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, thousands of school kids returning to hot classrooms this week. But many schools along the Wasatch Front have no central air. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe reports.
One teacher in the Davis School District says she plans to keep fans going non-stop because with all of her third graders playing at recess and then coming in, it gets hot. And she only has one swamp cooler, which she says does not always keep up with the temperatures.
The Davis District starts on Thursday when it's expected to reach 92 degrees outside. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. For millions of young Americans, summer vacation is winding down. ABC's Jim Ryan says a return to school means rising anxiety.
Child psychologists say some back-to-school butterflies are normal, but that parents should carefully watch their kids' interactions for signs of bullying. Dr. Christina Sauer.
There often can be some anxiety on seeing or being involved with the people doing the bullying.
Outside the physical campus, online bullying has, in some children, become a greater concern than physical intimidation. StopBullying.gov has advice for kids and adults. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Your money at this moment. The Dow right now is up 198. That's 0.5%. We're at 39,555. Coming up, we do have a chance of more storms today, maybe even thunderstorms. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32.
It's a priority for us at this station to bring you all sides of a story and to talk about the news fairly, completely.
Get all the facts and be really aware. Utah's Morning News with us, Tim and Amanda.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Tay-Tay was a typical girl that loved pink, singing, and all kinds of animals. At 3 years old, she tumbled off a horse and received a traumatic brain injury. Her family prayed for a miracle, and when they realized their daughter would not survive, they made the decision to donate her organs. Because of her donation, 4 other people received her organs and tissue, allowing others to live. Go to DonorConnect.life and read about what it takes to become a donor. Did you know many people think that they're too old and not in good enough health to be a donor? Anyone can be a donor. If you were told that it could save a life for someone close to you, or even a stranger, would you please donate? Finding out more on why you should become a donor is pretty easy. DonorConnect.life can walk you through the process and what it takes to simply sign up. Check yes to become a donor when you renew your driver's license. Give hope, heal life. DonorConnect.life.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Hi, can I help you?
You don't recognize me?
You look familiar. Have we met?
I'm your property taxes.
Oh, sure. You've gotten bigger.
Guess what?
Come on. No, you can't just give me a break.
Rising property values in Utah have led to increased property taxes. Some are struggling due to those increases, but it's time for good news. AARP Utah is here to help. AARP Utah has made it the top priority to connect qualified Utahns to our state's Circuit Breaker program, which offers tax relief to renters and homeowners. If you're over 66 with a household income below $41,000, you might qualify to save up to $1,200 in property tax relief. Don't miss out. The deadline to apply for homeowners is September 1st. For more information and to see if you qualify for up to $1,200 in property tax relief, visit aarp.org/UT. That's aarp.org/UT.
We have emergency traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. What's going on, Heather?
Well, Amanda, we've got a crash in Murray. This is on I-215 heading west, right near the I-15 interchange area. Now, originally, all lanes of traffic were shut down for about 5 or 8 minutes, and now they've opened up 2 right lanes, so 2 left lanes remain blocked. Traffic is at a standstill, backed all the way back to Union Park Avenue. We've also had a crash southbound I-15 in Woods Cross. This had 4 lanes of the freeway shut down, and that had traffic funneling through in the center lanes. Now, they've opened up most of them. The right lane and shoulder remain closed right now, but traffic is still backed up to 400 North and Bountiful, and it's at a crawl. Two Brothers Mattress is having their huge Labor Day sale. Save up to $900 on Serta mattresses. Visit one of their 5 stores and see all their sale prices at twobrothersmattress.com. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
You can expect some more storms today. Highs will be in the mid-80s with winds around 20 miles an hour. Right now it's cloudy and 70 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
The Biden administration wants to make canceling subscriptions easier. This is your gym memberships. It's your streaming services. It's all those subscriptions that nickel and dime you throughout the month. But then when you go to cancel the subscription, you get put through a doom loop. You know, you can't speak to a human, or you're told to email. It makes it, they make it complicated to cancel. Well, what the Biden administration wants to do, and what Dave says he loves, is, look, if it's 1 click to sign up or 2 clicks to sign up, it should be 1 or 2 clicks to cancel.
That would greatly improve my life. I would be so grateful. And I think it's important that we address some of these things. So often we roll our eyes or we smack our forehead in frustration. Things can be done, and sometimes the government needs to step in and make it a requirement to do some of these things. Because I understand from a business standpoint, if they can drag you along and keep you, they're just making money. I get it. I get why they make it impossible. But it's costing us hundreds of dollars. I just saw this study on Apple World today. They did some research. The average American has 3.3, so basically 3 subscriptions that they are not using. 3. You've got 3 right now, folks, that you are paying for that you're not using on average.
And how many of those are going unused and just sitting there rotting because it's complicated to cancel?
It's costing you about $35 a month. $35 a month.
That adds up. 801-575-TALK. Hi, Cameron.
How are you doing?
Have you had a subscription cancellation frustration experience that you can share?
Sure, I sure have. So first of all, I preface with I'm the tattooed realtor, and as a real estate agent, we get 40 to 60 text messages a day asking if we want to get health insurance. And I gave in to this lady last year. She was very sweet, and I got hooked up with the local healthcare company. And a few months later, I started noticing I was getting charged by another healthcare company. One was $250, another was $183. I was double insured, and I could not cancel the suspicious other healthcare company without writing a letter to a company in Las Vegas. And then in order to dispute the charges, the same credit card company that was charging me both for one healthcare company and the other, they wanted me to send in paperwork to them proving that I was paying for insurance already. It took me 6 months to get the money back.
How frustrating was this for you?
I just don't understand how it's illegal to be double insured, yet we can be caught paying for 2 different insurance companies. So it was pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
How much did it cost you? An extra 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it was like $893 we ended up getting back, and I think it was a couple hundred short, just because you know how companies are. Well, you didn't notice, and you didn't call us, and it's been a couple months. Right. So, of course, we had to deal with that. But 6 months before we could see a dollar come back, I had already shown them that I've been insured by a local Utah company, and there's a company in another state charging me that I cannot get insurance coverage for anywhere.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought
It was
about
a nightmare.
I hadn't thought about healthcare. Well, there's another subscription. Sign up. Misery story. Thanks, Cameron. We appreciate it.
Hi, Philip.
Hey, how you guys doing?
It looks like you had a situation with the gym membership. Did you get stuck in a doom loop trying to cancel?
Oh yeah. So years ago, I actually got stranded out of town, and I was paying a premium. So it was like $22 a month for a gym membership, and I couldn't get back, and I kind of ran out of funds, and was homeless for a little while, like 4 or 5 months.
Oh.
And I tried to call the gym to be like, hey, like I want to cancel this membership. Kind of have a little bit of money, save that so I can get back to where I'm needing to go. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that over the phone. You have to come in here in person. Try to explain the situation and was trying to escalate it to their manager, and no one would do anything for me. So I finally got back, and it was hundreds of bucks, and it was just a nightmare trying to cancel all that. So
My heart is broken.
Apparently, you needed a better
that.
excuse than homelessness, Philip. Sorry. I mean, it just speaks to me how idiotic it is. I do not understand how in the world a business can listen to that story, Philip, listen to what you're going through and still say, nope, I'm going to need that $37 a month. It is so heartless. It's just unbelievable.
So part of my reason for not signing up for subscriptions in the first place is this. Am I going to get trapped in paying for it where it becomes really difficult for me to get out of it? So here's the lengths I'm willing to go to. About a month ago or so, I was notified by my personal email provider that my email was filling up. Dave knows this story. He knows what I've been doing for the last month behind the scenes. Everywhere I'm walking, in the newsroom or at home, I am literally deleting emails. So I go to it. They said, we're going to cut you off. You will not receive any more emails after this date because it's full. We have no more room for your emails. So I'm a reasonable person. I look at my emails. I have 42,000 emails over the last 6 or 7 years that I've had this email provider that I haven't deleted. Many of them I haven't deleted. I get it. It's my own doing. So for about $2 a month, the other option was I could upgrade for more space. And I thought, that's the easy route, right? For $2 a month, I'll get the subscription. Then I'll have all of the space I need to store all of these emails. And I will avoid the headache of having to go through my emails because some of them I need to keep, right? They're important communication. Other emails, might be from retailers and coupons from 5-6 years ago that I've never used. I don't know. I haven't gone through my emails. I thought, I'll be darned if I'm going to spend $2 a month. Because you know what I did, Dave? I did the math. I did $2 a month times 12 months is $24 a year. And then I figure I'll live to be 100. And so by then I'll pay on this email subscription for 43 years. So every night and every morning when I wake up, I have committed to myself to sit there and delete as many emails as possible. And if there were an Olympic gold medal for email deletion, I just want to let you know, as of last night, I'm down to 1,800 emails.
You've got all the golds.
And I now
You're the Simone Biles of email deleting.
And I now have 10% storage in my email.
All that time. Okay.
But it's to avoid paying a subscription. That's it. I'm not going to pay the subscription. Plus, most of those emails were just, from retail stores I don't even remember shopping at.
Let's just look at how many accounts there are. Let me look at Gmail, for example. There are 360 million Gmail accounts. If everyone paid their $2, they would be pulling in $700 million per month. That is why these companies, and I'm not just picking on Google here, this is why they make it as uncomfortable as possible, because they don't mind losing your business because they're making it up on the backs of everybody else that doesn't have the time, patience, or energy to cancel.
I just want to say this, though. On Saturday, I was walking around my house with my head down, deleting emails. I'm so committed to this. It's ridiculous that I tripped over the ottoman in my living room and I fell down flat on my face.
Stop it, you did. That's funny. That's funny, right? Can I laugh at that? You're laughing at it? It's a little funny.
I refuse.
Get your head out of your phone. Get your nose out of your phone.
I refused the notion that I was injured and that I needed to go to the Instacare and have my knee looked at.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Here's a trick to podcasting at work and getting all the Utah news you love.
Download the KSL News Radio app.
The podcast for Utah's morning news and Dave and Debbie are right there. Dozens of podcasts a day.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. In celebration of over 32 years of serving humans in Utah with their computer and tech needs, we've slashed our prices. And these are the new 2025 models. Here's the deal. You can get our new 2025 S1 desktop with a blazing Ryzen 5 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing fast storage on this promotion. We also have our new 2025 SM3 laptop with the Intel i5 processor, 16 gigs, and over a terabyte of storage for $999. You can take one home today for $999. And you also get the peace of mind of our lifetime service warranty. We also have 12 months special financing available, and they start as low as $29 a month. But hurry in because supplies are limited. Because at PC Laptops, we love you. PCLaptops.com. Take home a blazing fast 2025 model desktop or laptop for $999 at PCLaptops.com.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 13 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Nevada, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, or other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 90 days from a station contest or event are not eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Stop paying 5-star pricing for 3-star service. It's time for a change. Welcome to Beehive Plumbing's Premier Experience. With our Beehive Premier plan, you have access to our VIP phone number and website to ensure prompt and reliable plumbing service by an expert 5-star technician. Why Beehive? Our Premier package comes with an industry-leading warranty, giving you up to 10 years of coverage on both parts and labor. Yeah, that's right, 10-year warranty. Call Beehive Plumbing today or visit beehivepremier.com for expert experience every time.
At Common Spirit Health, we know that lifelong health and well-being starts with primary care. So we have doctors and providers who see you, hear you, know you, and understand you. Because understanding you means understanding your needs. And that leads to a deeper knowledge of the prevention, wellness, and treatment options that may be best for you. It's primary care that treats your whole family like family. It's primary care with human kindness. Discover all the ways you can find and connect with a primary care provider at mountain.commonspirit.org.
Cedar City Brian Head is full of things you love, from the Shakespeare Festival to cozy cabins, stargazing, and more. Get to know you in Utah. Plan today at visitcedarcity.com.
Master Electrical Services, home of the upfront pricing guarantee.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. Over the years, I've talked a lot about hard water takes years off the life of water heaters and other appliances in your home. Leaves scum on the shower walls, and you almost need a jackhammer to remove that. I've talked about how Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer, their water softeners are maintenance-free. You just don't need adjustment, and they do the job with 2/3 less salt than other softeners. But today, I want to talk about the exhilarating feeling of stepping into a hot bath or shower and feeling that pure, soft water cascade over your skin. It feels like every pore in your body wants to stand up and start singing. And afterward, there are no itchy hard water deposits sticking all over you. You really should look into a soft water system from Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. You can learn more about Connecticut by giving them a call at 801-576-8600 or log on to Softwater Utah. Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. Then sit back and enjoy your shower even more.
Emergency traffic brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. We still have 2 to 3 miles of nearly stopped traffic. I-215 heading westbound between Union Park Avenue and the I-15 interchange in Murray. It's due to a crash still blocking 2 left lanes of traffic plus both shoulders. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, London is beefing up security for the return of Taylor Swift to the stage. The extra precautions will be put in place after that alleged terrorism plot forced her to cancel shows in Vienna last week. Second, the Olympic flag arrived in Los Angeles this week in the official handoff for the 2028 Summer Games. Plans to get the city ready are already being put in motion. And third, fire crews are investigating after a vacation home in Provo went up in flames this morning. Right now, it's 70 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
David Dujanovic. The war in Ukraine. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Look, from an outsider's perspective, from sitting in this seat and hearing what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, it just feels like there's been a complete flip, a reversal of the Ukraine-Russia war. Ukraine has been marching into Russian territory, very successfully, in fact. President Zelensky has been told by his commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian forces, Dave, that Ukraine has taken about 380 square miles of Russian territory.
It's something like 30 villages. This is not an insignificant number. I am still scratching my head. How long have we been doing this? How long has this been going on?
It began February 24th of 2022. 2.5 years ago, a little longer. And remember when it first happened, just about everybody's take was, it'll be over for Ukraine by the weekend.
Yes, it will happen. There's nothing Ukraine can do. And the Ukrainian people have done an incredible job of fighting back the Russian forces. This is where I feel horribly for the Ukrainian people, is we have dragged them along like a bad relationship, giving them a little bit of hope, but then pulling away. We have had one foot in and one foot out in this war for so long. Let me paint a picture, just to remember, of what a terrible job we've done as Americans, as a country, to support the Ukrainians. As Russia is coming in, they have a 40-mile convoy of tanks and armored personnel carriers and fuel and food. 40 miles long on a single road. How in the world do you not take a B-2 bomber and carpet bomb that and destroy the army overnight? It's the most insane tactical deployment I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely, I dare you to do something, America, and America did nothing. And what has happened is for 2.5 years, the Russians and the Ukrainians have been killing each other at a horrific pace. And we're just sitting out there and we're giving the Ukrainians just enough money to keep going, but not enough to win the war.
And some supplies.
Tons of supplies, tons of weapons, tons of ammunition and food and humanitarian stuff. We've been supporting them, but we're not giving them the weapons. We've been rolling out weapons like Santa Claus on Christmas, one present at a time.
You were speaking about Russians and Ukrainians killing each other. This is the death toll that we were able to track down this morning. Russia, there's been 80,000 Russian lives lost and 30,000 Ukrainian lives. Now, that doesn't include hundreds of thousands who've been injured and hurt on both sides of this. We really wanted to get to the angle of what it looks like, because remember when Russia was taking over some of these villages, we were getting stories of torture of some of the Ukrainian residents that they were invading their homes, and we were reporting about that when it was happening. Well, I'm trying to get an idea of what's going on now that we have the situation is somewhat in reverse. I mean, Ukraine has taken over 380,000 square miles of territory, of Russian territory, and it's been reported as an embarrassment to the Kremlin. I'm going to play about 1:30, Dave, a clip from Good Morning America, ABC News anchor Michael Strahan and reporter Ian Pannell breaking down the latest developments, and then let's get our takes on this.
To the war in Ukraine, President Zelensky confirming a military offensive is underway 18 miles inside Russia. Ian Pannell joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. Ukraine expanding its daring offensive inside Russia this morning. Video circulating online showing troops raising the blue and yellow flag of Ukraine in newly occupied villages. The commander-in-chief of Ukrainian forces telling President Zelensky they've taken around 380 square miles of Russian territory. Some analysts are estimating they could be as deep as 18 miles inside Russia. Thousands of Ukrainian troops are now believed to have crossed in the last week around Kursk and now Belgorod. These are two places, by the way, that are used to launch attacks against Ukraine. Fierce firefights have been reported as Russia urgently sends in its defensive units. It's attacking with drones and aircraft. Over 100,000 residents have now been forced to flee their homes. The Kremlin totally caught off guard by this attack, rattled Putin, ordering the defense ministry to, quote, push to kick the enemy out of our territory. But the acting governor of Kursk admitting in a rare moment of honesty that the situation is difficult and around 30 villages have now been taken. Facts are still few, but get this. This is the biggest occupation of Russian territory by a foreign army since the Second World War. Russia claiming American and NATO military equipment's being used, which would be a breach of agreements, but it's offered no evidence to support that. Finally, two key questions, I think, this morning. How much Russian territory can Ukraine take, and is it capable of holding on to it? George?
Those are the big questions. Okay, and thanks very much.
And that's a great question. How much territory can Ukraine take? Because obviously Ukraine is not trying to invade Russia or take over Russia. They're just trying to do something different, because there's been such a stalemate over the last year specifically, where Ukrainians have tried a counteroffensive, tried to push back, regain territory that's been taken, and quite honestly, it has largely just been a stalemate, gaining feet, not miles, and certainly not towns.
So CNN also reporting on this, saying, how has Putin reacted? 2 words, with fury. They're saying the scale of the crisis became clearer yesterday. He held a meeting with top security and government officials and the heads of the border regions, vowing to kick the enemy out. So ABC News, Ian Pannell asking that important question, like, how can they hold this, and how will Russia ultimately react? That remains to be seen.
We have been so hesitant and so worried about Vladimir Putin escalating, maybe bringing nuclear wars to or nuclear weapons to the table. We've been so hesitant that, again, I'm not quite sure what the goal is, what a win is, or what we expect the Ukrainians to do, because it has been floundering for years.
We'll ask Boyd what his inside sources are saying about this at 11:05.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. Thunderstorms making their way out of the Wasatch Front, but National Weather Service senior meteorologist Monica Traphagen says people should get ready for a second round this afternoon.
Maybe the coverage of it won't be quite as great as it was yesterday, but we're still expecting numerous showers and thunderstorms to develop during the afternoon hours.
The good news is these storms not expected to linger into the overnight hours. Traphagen thinks they could wrap up by the evening, and then we could see dry weather through at least Friday. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Ford is telling the owners of some of its Fusion, Mustang, Edge, and Ranger models not to drive them until they've had their airbags replaced. They were recalled last year because the airbag inflators can injure the driver and passengers. Some Mercury and Lincoln models are affected by the recall as well. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average up today, 230 points right now, and the NASDAQ also up 288 points. Our KSL weather. Again, we're looking for some thunderstorms again this afternoon. That's next. KSL News Time, 10:01.
Here's a way to get breaking news updates anywhere you go.
At the store or in a work meeting, you can get breaking news on your phone.
You can quickly read it, swipe, or click for more. It's super discreet, super fast.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
We're still looking at emergency traffic, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Heather Kelly.
Well, this is on I-215 heading westbound. The crash itself is right near the I-15 interchange, just after you pass State Street. Right now, the left lane remains closed, but all of the freeway had been shut down for quite some time. So that backed traffic up almost to Union Park Avenue. Plus, there was a crash in that backup. They had pulled over to the left shoulder. Looks like they just exchanged information and left again. But all of that is just keeping things very slow right now on I-215 westbound in Murray between Union Park and I-15. Everyone else moving along pretty nicely, though. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be cooler today, a high of 86 with a chance of monsoon thunderstorms again this afternoon and tomorrow. Will dry out Thursday through Saturday, highs back in the mid-90s. 73 degrees right now. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. KSL in the Classroom. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
It's back to school week. Yay! Hear the kids cheer. So what's become of Uphill Both Ways? That's a show, Dave, when I was a kid, which was a long time ago. I acknowledge that.
Not that long.
It was. I'm talking 1972 when I started school. Half of us walked or rode bikes to school back then, way back in the day.
Half. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember droves of kids on bikes, on foot, on sidewalks. We
had a bike rack. I just remember this from my elementary school. It was 2 deep, probably 75 feet long. Like there were probably 200 bikes.
All tangled together.
Oh, yeah. It was a nightmare. Nobody had a lock. You could have stolen every single one of these bikes. Easy, yeah. I bet there's not a bike rack at a school in America.
I grew up in Arizona. We did have locks.
You used locks back in the 70s?
Yeah, there were these. They came out with these U-shaped locks. You've probably seen them now. When I got a 10-speed, I got a lock. No one's taking that thing. Well, now it's somewhere below 15%. Those statistics are a wee bit old, not as old as I am, but it gives you, I think it paints a really good picture of where we've gone.
How old? You're making it sound like
2009-ish.
Okay, well, it's not that long ago.
No.
Trust me.
My kids were in elementary school at the time.
Over the last 15 years, bike ridership hasn't gone up. Now that we got our smartphones, I wonder if bike ridership is going to go up. Of course not. No, if it's 15% 15 years ago, it's probably 2% now.
So what's your dad take on why?
Okay, why? Obviously, because we're soft as parents. We don't want little Johnny to walk in the cold because it's cold. You know, like if only they developed some sort of technology to keep kids warm, but I don't even know what that is if it's not a car. No, we just, whether it's convenience, whether it's we're just pampering our kids, it's our fault. It's the parents. We are driving our kids.
I think it's our fear as parents. Like if we don't lay eyes on them walking through the school doors and making sure the doors slam behind them, we're afraid they didn't make it to
it's
school.
It's a fear thing for you?
Yeah.
I have no fear. Like that doesn't cross.
Could be the difference between the mom and the dad's point
maybe.
of view.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this fear. Like we literally moved across the street from the school. That is not hyperbole. We could see the school from our front room. And I would watch the kids when they walked. And by the way, the crossing guard, love her, right there, right at the end of our street, at the end of our cul-de-sac, right there. Watched, waved, made sure the kids got across the street when they started. That was in middle school. In elementary school, it was mom taxi all day, both ways. Working full-time did not matter. I'd figure out a way to get them there. I did get them there every day. Their dad would pick them up or grandma and grandpa would pick them up. We figured it out because I wanted to make sure the mom and dad taxis were shuttling our kids. Yeah, I think it's just fear. And now back then we didn't have smartphones, right? We didn't have we weren't tracking our kids. I think there was like a device that you could buy to clip to their shoe that might have GPS tracked them or something like that. And I was like, okay, we're not doing that. So safe routes to school, it's a major movement to create ways to get students back on bikes, back walking to school. They are coming up with ways to actually entice families to really lean into this. We're going to talk about that more in just a minute. But there's also this other stat. They said back in the day, 2009. Okay, this is, like I said, the stats are a little bit dated, but I think still worthy of a discussion. In 2009, American families drove 30 billion miles to take their kiddos back and forth to school.
That is an insane amount of travel.
It makes up to 14% of morning traffic.
Well, how much of your life was impacted by driving and picking up your kids?
No, it was just
in the middle of the day. You're shutting down.
Right.
Now it's a 5-minute drive, probably.
Well, if you're
tops.
home, if I was home, maybe.
Yeah, but how much time did you have to spend planning and coordinating instead of just letting your kids drive? Another thing, or not drive, but just walk, ride their bike. This is what shocks me about myself, and I'm straight up staring in the mirror, but mostly at my wife, but definitely at the mirror with a little side eye to my wife. We complain about how much time our kids spend in front of screens and how much time they're on their phones. If we let them walk to school, maybe it's a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever it might be. Who cares what the number is? Right? That would take you maybe an hour, 45 minutes if
Pack
it was
a lunch,
a couple
you'll
miles.
get there in 2 days.
But that you would build in no screen time during that. I think we could totally toughen up as parents and say, you know what? I think you can make it from point A to point B. This is the safe route. To your point, we should have safe routes to school. We should teach our kids what those safe routes are, show them some of the danger spots, what to look out for.
UDOT has a new program for that, too, or newer program. I went online to check it out. In fact, KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson has reported on it. So let's listen.
Safe Routes Utah gives safety tips to kids and parents as they get ready for the school year. It provides maps with safe routes to and from school, as well as other traffic tips for students who walk or bike to school. UDOT hopes the program encourages kids from kindergarten to 8th grade to learn and practice traffic safety by offering prizes. Each month, students and parents can enter in how many days they walk to earn rewards like bikes and scooters. Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
Could you lean into that?
Yes. Absolutely. So, I kind of like the incentive, win a bike, win a scooter, something like that.
So I went online to check out the Safe Routes Utah, and it's impressive. There's an interactive map. So I put in my kids' old school. I mean, they're not in public school anymore. They're in their 20s. So, but I put in their old school, and it gave a map, and it showed like where the crossing guards are. So I thought that's really helpful, you know. And then under the prizes section, there's cute pictures of kids in all of the different school districts standing there with their bike that they won or their scooter they won and their helmet. I think they won them. I mean, it seems like this is such a cool program. I thought, could you lean into that if you knew that there was a safe route your kids were walking and they were incentivized to use that route and stay safe because they knew there was a prize possibly at the end of the. But I think there's a lot of reasons why parents don't let their kids walk or ride bikes. I think one is they're worried about traffic safety. I think the other is they're worried about stranger danger, which in context, I want to put this in context. Child Watch broke down a U.S. Department of Justice report, and they looked at the U.S. Department of Justice looked at almost 800,000 missing children in the United States over a 1-year period. Not quite that many, but almost that many. Now, these are missing kids. Kids go missing for all kinds of different reasons, okay? Some of them are found, thankfully, in the basement of their friend's home. They just forgot to tell mom and dad they were going to go play video games, right? So that's all of the kids in the United States. Well, 115, still horrible, but 115 of those were the stereotypical kind of stranger kidnappings that we are living so much fear of. So statistically that it's going to happen to your child, thankfully. And when it does, we all know. It's
we move mountains.
All hands on deck, right? We know just how
But it doesn't
horrible
happen
it is.
often enough to worry about it.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the worries.
Yeah,
Or
I agree.
are you just being an overprotective parent just because generally you're an overprotective parent?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. We show our love to our kids because, like, something could happen. Like, that's not going to happen. We have tens of millions of kids going to school every single day, walking, traveling. They're not getting abducted. That's not a real reasonable fear, in my opinion. So I think we absolutely could I think they would benefit. The exercise, the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised one time, quick story, my son walked home from school. It was raining, and he walks in. He's soaked. I'm like, oh, buddy, sorry. I should have come and picked you up. And he's like, that's all right, Dad. I like walking in the rain.
Aw.
Our kids even like it. But no, we protect them from stuff that they like.
Straight ahead, parent taxi or let them walk like Dave does in the rain. Parent taxi or let them walk. I'm also going to give you the sweet spot. What experts say is the right age to allow your child to bike or walk to school, because there is a kind of a right age. But taking your live phone calls, do you parent taxi them or you let them walk? 801-575-TALK. Next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
A lot of us are filling our workdays with podcasts.
When you're working, go to KSLNewsRadio.com.
Click on Dave and Debbie's podcast and pick a topic and story length.
Podcast with Dave and Debbie. Then get to work with KSL News Radio.
Let me tell you guys about Salt Lake City fat loss. If you're looking to lose some weight, and this isn't probably for the 3 pounds, this is for some serious weight loss. I wanted to lose 30 pounds. That's what I was hoping for. And Salt Lake City Fat Loss said, oh, yeah, many of our clients that we work with will lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. But sometimes we see even better results. And that's what I got. I got even better results. I lost 57 pounds in 60 days. Just 2 months, 57 pounds. And it was fantastic. It was way easier. I'm not saying it was easy, but it was easier than I thought it would be. And I really bought into the program. I lost it safely, without injections and without surgery. If you're interested, give Salt Lake City Fat Loss a try. Visit their website, schedule a free consultation. If you use my name, Dave, you're going to get an extra $200 off the program. Just go to slcfatloss.com.
Summer recess is ending.
The first of 24 Utah school districts is welcoming their students back to the classroom.
And it's not just kids dreading the first day.
This year, parents are expecting to spend $875 on back to school.
Rely on KSL to stay out of the red.
Lean into shopping secondhand. I do it all the time. I've done it for years.
We have you covered for back to school this week on KSL News Radio.
Attention homeowners considering roof replacement in 2024. Light up your home this August with Master Roofing. Schedule your roof replacement by September 10th and receive a free V-Lux sun tunnel valued at $1,200. Perfect for brightening your bathrooms and hallways. Don't miss out. Visit masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free assessment and claim your free V-Lux sun tunnel. Call 801-383-0072 or visit masterroofingutah.com today. Light up your home with Master Roofing.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hi, I'm Congressman John Curtis. We all know it can be stressful waiting for an answer from a government agency. If you live in Utah's 3rd Congressional District and you need help with a passport, the VA, IRS, Social Security, or any other federal agency, call my office at 801-922-5400 or visit curtis.house.gov. Also, please come to my open house on August 15th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Sandy City Hall. That's 10,000 Centennial Parkway in Sandy. I'll give a brief update on Congress, and my staff will be available to help you. You can also check my website for more events like this one. Please come to my open house on August 15th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Sandy City Hall. It's an honor to represent you. Paid for by official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, we could see a repeat of yesterday's thunderstorms and heavy rain this afternoon. Second, weather has interfered with the search for a missing hiker in Emery County. And third, Ford is telling the owners of about 600,000 vehicles not to drive them until they can get their airbags fixed. These vehicles were recalled because their airbag inflators can cause injuries. 73 degrees, partly cloudy right now, and back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. KSL in the classroom. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
As we send our kids back to school this week and next week here in Utah, Dave and I asking, why don't you let your kids walk to school or ride their bikes to school? 801-575-TALK. Give us a call. Love to hear what your logic is. Psychology Today, speaking of logic, wrote about what's in a walk. It said the title is "What's in a Walk to School for Kids?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to read this article." So I read it this morning. I think it dropped about a year ago, so it's a relatively recent article. So they said it's more than a walk. In fact, Dr. Maria Shug, who wrote the article with Widener University, she says when children have the freedom to travel through their neighborhood without direct adult supervision, so yeah, mom and dad, that means me not standing in the window watching my kids, without direct adult supervision, they develop critical skills. Independent walking promotes risk assessment. I can see that. Social competencies, environmental knowledge, problem solving, decision-making abilities. And they said these skills that they develop while they're walking or riding their bike appear to impact how they react when they're an adult.
And we're robbing them of that opportunity.
15% of parents, according to 2009 stats, allow their kids to walk or bike to school. When I was a kiddo in kindergarten, more than half. Now, some of that might be because we don't live as close to schools, but I think some of this has to do with fear of parents. And then we pass that fear along to our kids. Guilty.
Great point. When we tell them about stranger danger in kidnapping, do we often follow it with the explanation that this also will never happen? Like the chances that you will be confronted or enticed or be kidnapped, it's 1 in a million. It just does not happen very often. So it's good to be aware. Our kids need to know the dangers out there. They also need to understand how infrequently this happens. Now, when it does happen, we go nuclear. We call everybody, all hands on deck. But the chances of something like that happening is very, very small.
There's a sweet spot when it comes to birthdays. I'll give you that age in just a moment. Psychology Today wrote about that as well. When kids are developmentally ready to start walking on their own. And they said that one of the biggest barriers to kids walking independently is concerns about traffic. I'll get into some stats on that in just a minute, but they said there's an age where most kids are capable of safely traveling to school alone.
One thing I hadn't really thought of, Debbie, is I don't know if I've walked with my kids and showed them the danger spots on their walk to school. Said, hey, these are a couple places. There's a blind corner here. Right. I haven't done that. That would probably make me feel better if I knew that they knew.
I love that. And you can do that Safe Schools route with Safe Schools Utah. I got to make sure I got that website right. I'm going to give you that website in just a second. We're going to take live phone calls right now. Go ahead,
Kate
Dave.
in Ogden, what do you think?
I am on both sides. I'm on your side because I walked to school myself for 2 miles. And you kind of laughed about the 2 miles, but this dates me really a lot. I lived in Bountiful. I walked to South Davis Junior High because Mill Creek wasn't built then.
Okay. 2 miles. That's a chunk. All right.
Okay, so anyway, I was between the two. They built it the year after I left. But anyway, it was great for me. You are more awake. Everything that they say about exercise is good. So I would say, yes, it's fabulous if it can be done. Now, on the other side, I'm just like Deb. When it got to be my kids, it was a totally different story.
Okay.
Mom was afraid. Mom took them. And actually, at the elementary that I went to, Bountiful Elementary, a child was kidnapped when I was there. So my parents refused. My mother refused to take me because all the other parents did. And she said, nobody's going to kidnap you with all these other parents around. Just walk. So I did. But anyway, I was exactly like Deb. And in today's world, I probably would be that way, even though it did me the best in the world.
Yeah, that's
back then.
Kate, thank you. No, I think it really speaks to many of our experiences, many of our worries. Oh, it was great for me. Just not sure it would be great for my kids.
Hi,
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
So are you fearful of letting your kids walk alone to school or ride their bikes?
For the most part, yes. I feel like it's a fear thing. I had an attempted kidnapping on my life about 40 years ago when I was in elementary school, and my mom had showed me all the safe routes to walk, what to do in case of an emergency, how to run to a person's house and knock on the door if I felt like I was in danger, all those things. And it didn't stop anything from happening to me. And I am a huge proponent of exercise, and I love walking in the rain. And I remember fun times of playing in the rain as a kid and all that sort of thing. And I'm a triathlete nowadays, so I fully believe in exercise. However, there's also this logic in my head, logic, that if that could happen to me back in the day when I was trained and all of the things, how is the world a safer place now for my kids to be in?
Kelly, you said attempted. How did you get away? Just real quickly.
I hid in a doorway of a home. I thought that it was going to be a house that had people at it. Kind of had a sunken doorway, kind of tucked back in. I ran, pounded on the door. I could see the guy that had tried to grab me into his car. He was slowly driving down this street, and it was a big dead-end street, and I knew it was a dead-end street. So I waited for him to get far enough away, and then I just took off on my bike and pedaled as fast as I could for home. And my parents called the police, and I had to go and try and identify people. It was, it was
traumatic. No question. Oh, my goodness. How could it not be?
And I just think if that happened 40 years ago, how are things any different now or any better now?
Well,
I don't know.
Thanks for being willing to share that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. There is this kind of the sweet spot of when they say traffic dangers are, kids can navigate traffic dangers. And according to the data and Psychology Today reporting, that's the age of 8.
Really?
3rd grade, right?
So 3rd grade, 8 years old, they say they are totally capable of navigating traffic and basic
And
dangers.
you start looking at traffic statistics, like in terms of, injuries and deaths, and it's so tragic when it happens. I lost friends when I was little to traffic fatality. So it's just horrible. They said that this is, according to the data we're looking at again, a little older, but still, I think, pertinent from safe routes to school an organization that compiles this information, says in 2009, about 23,000 children ages 5 to 15 were injured in traffic-related incidents. They said more than 250 were killed while walking. So.
Yeah, there's dangers, I understand, but there's dangers everywhere, right? We get in car accidents every day, so you cannot protect your kids from everything. You make it as smart a decision as you can. Some places, some routes to school are completely unsafe. I understand that. But I can tell you there's absolutely no reason my kids couldn't have walked to and from school every single day of their lives. I just chose to bail them out.
Straight ahead, inflation has brought us to the brink. It's breaking us, so we're fighting back. Live analysis from an expert on inflation straight ahead.
It's 10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top local story this hour. 2 recent drownings at Willard Bay are being blamed on sudden storms. The State Parks Associate Director Devin Chavez says we should be prepared for sudden weather changes.
This is Utah. Weather can change at the drop of a hat. It could be 100 degrees one minute and a blowing wind and rain and thunderstorm the next, and then back to over 100 degrees after another hour has passed.
He says it's also a good idea to have weather notifications enabled on your cell phone in case there is a sudden change. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. A mother in southeast Texas has her son to thank for saving her life after their car sank in a pond. ABC's Jim Ryan reports.
On a rural highway 3 weeks ago, Jonquetta Wimbush suffered a seizure and drove into a pond. She was unconscious, but her 2 kids escaped before the car sank. Her son flagged down a police officer.
Having a fever. She sunk. She's in the water.
Oh, come on, hop in. Only the roof of the car was visible, but police and bystanders got the woman out. 3 weeks later, Jonquetta Wimbush is off a ventilator and breathing on her own. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Your money at this moment. The Dow Jones average up on the day right now, 277 points, and the NASDAQ is up 317. Our KSL weather, we could see another thunderstorm or two this afternoon. That's next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
News doesn't just mean information or dates.
It's the story of our local history being told in real time.
Be a part of the story. This is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
We hope to be a part of your story. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Introducing Peach Doors and Windows. Are you ready to upgrade your home with stunning new doors but are overwhelmed with how to begin? Peach Doors is here to make the entire process smooth and stress-free. Visit their showroom to see their wide selection of wood doors, durable fiberglass, energy-efficient aluminum, oversized glass bifold doors, and so much more. It's not just about looks, it's about durability and security to protect what matters most. Let them help you find the perfect match for your home, budget, and personal style. Visit their showroom and see for yourself. No pushy sales tactics, only guidance from their experienced staff. No inflated markups just to offer so-called discounts. See their 5-star reviews where customers rate them on their attention to detail through every step of the sale and installation process. Amazing home transformations begin with windows and doors. Serving Logan to St. George, just Google Peach Building to see for yourself.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
High five! Up top! Heck
yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Heather Kelly.
The earlier accidents we had that were causing emergency traffic in Murray and in Woods Cross are now gone. All lanes are open. Traffic is back to normal speeds on all the major freeways across the Wasatch Front. The only thing you have to contend with now is a little bit of congestion on some of our city streets, like State Street going from Murray into South Salt Lake, as well as Bangerter Highway northbound toward the 201 freeway. It's time to get your tickets for Utah Symphony and Utah Opera this season. Right now, get the best available main floor seats for just $25 at usuo.org/on sale. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our weather will be cooler today with a high of 86 and a chance of monsoon thunderstorms again this afternoon and tomorrow. We'll dry out Thursday through Saturday with highs back into the mid-90s. 74 degrees, partly cloudy right now. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio. Priced Out. Inflation. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
Well, inflation over the last few years has burned us so much that's now it's broke us. Associated Press reporting that Americans' refusal to keep paying higher prices may be dealing a final blow to the U.S. inflation spike.
Not only will it affect inflation, but this is going to hurt the economy because we're fed up. When inflation is transitory, I was reading this in the New York Times. They did a great job of breaking down inflation in the short term versus inflation in the long term. When it's in the short term, we just kind of suck it up and we pay a little extra for eggs. But when inflation is long lasting, then we stop buying eggs. We start changing our behaviors. And that's what I think is happening right now. We dealt with it. We swallowed it. We just kind of kept paying more and more and more. Now we are changing habits.
So one of those habits, Dave, that you are referring to is what the Associated Press is reporting as some of America's largest companies are saying that their customer base, they are now seeking more and more ways to find less expensive products, less expensive alternatives, less expensive services. Like, I rarely, and I mean rarely, get a pedicure. I don't remember the last time I got a manicure, years ago. I got a pedicure when I was on vacation. And it was $40. Okay. There are some pedicures that I've gone to where it's like $80. But I specifically was like, what's the cheapest pedicure place? What's the cheapest type of pedicure? And I'm going to lock in at that price. And then, I'm going to give a tip. So I think total it was about $50. Yeah. But that's the intention I'm now shopping with. No longer can I just say, oh, whatever the price is, I'll just figure it out. I only get I don't want to gross anybody out. I only get 4 or 5 pedicures a year. I'm not in there every month. Good for you if you are.
You're saying 4 or 5 a year? I haven't gotten 4 or 5 in my lifetime.
Robert Spenlove, senior economist at Science Bank. Good morning.
Good morning.
So are you seeing these similar trends that the Associated Press has been reporting about, consumers fed up with inflation to the point where we're changing our habits?
Yeah, in fact, we're seeing it in the reporting of companies. Just this morning, Home Depot released their earnings for the quarter, and they're predicting that same-store sales are going to drop by 3 to 4%. Earlier, they were saying maybe a 1% drop, and they're saying consumers are starting to pull back, especially on those big-ticket items like home improvement, kitchen, bath, lighting, flooring. And they're saying, especially those areas where you have to finance a big purchase, people are pulling back. We saw that last week with Disney. We're seeing that with Starbucks. When you go out and have to pay $5 for a cup of coffee, people are saying, well, maybe I'll just get it at home.
When we have seen these and been tracking the inflation numbers for so long, and we've reset the price point over and over again over the years, I am hesitant, though, as we start seeing, the inflation numbers come back down to normal, and the Fed starts talking about, okay, now maybe we start cutting rates and stimulate the economy again. Isn't that just going to raise inflation right back up? Like, how attached is it?
Yeah, and that's the big fear. So the Fed is walking this tightrope because right now we have very high interest rates, and it's taken a while. It's taken a long time for them to actually start impacting the economy. We're really starting to see it right now. But the Fed doesn't want to drop those rates too quickly or too far and reignite that inflation. We don't want the housing market to start overheating again. We don't want car sales to overheat again. But they also don't want to keep them so high that the economy tanks and we fall into a recession. So we're in this critical period right now where we are seeing consumers responding. We're seeing prices slowing. And then the Fed has to say, okay, how much do we pull off on these high interest rates and not push us into a tough situation?
So, Robert, I just wonder what took consumers so long to react, or did it?
Yeah. No, that's exactly. So there's this famous phrase that it says the solution to high prices is high prices. Yeah. So what that means is that people usually respond to higher prices by pulling back their demand. But since 2021, that has not been true. Even with higher prices, we were all, grouchy, but we kept spending. And it's because of this huge infusion of cash from the pandemic. Remember, we had all those the payments in the mail, or the student loan help, or the unemployment that infused so much cash into the economy that it enabled consumers to keep spending even with higher prices. But what we're seeing now is that people are finally running out of that extra money, and so it's making us become much more price sensitive.
And you mentioned some of the big ticket items that I guess you could delay or scale back on or just decide against. Are there more everyday things that you're seeing that maybe we're pulling back on? Maybe it's just do we walk or do we ride a bicycle instead of drive? Are you seeing anything more day to day?
Yeah. So what we've been seeing, for the last little while, it's been those extra expenses like going to Disneyland or home improvement. But now we're seeing it shifting back into those main items. So what we're seeing people changing from maybe going to Target to going to Walmart, or people shopping at the dollar store. We're seeing a lot of demand for those substitutes to those higher price items. And so we're pulling back in a lot of different areas, but people are continuing to try to find good alternatives. Now, we've seen goods prices coming down, or at least stabilizing. The area where we're still seeing big increases is on the services side. So that pedicure or a haircut or those other services are taking longer to come back, and historically, that's the toughest area to get inflation back to normal.
Robert Spenlove, thank you for joining us, senior economist with Zions Bank.
Straight ahead, Dave, I want to ask you if you've cut back, where you've cut back. I talked about my pedicure, sorry. I have other areas I've cut back on. And then there's this TransUnion survey from this year where we're cutting back on. And some of the areas are areas I wasn't really expecting to see. So let's take live phone calls next. 801-575-TALK, of course, always. 801-575-TALK. Where have you cut? 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 Where have you your budget because of inflation. Your live calls next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
You know KSL is the only news radio for your car, right?
The only news radio for your smart speaker.
Come here in the morning. It's the latest news and traffic. In the afternoon, news and updated weather.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
We have some very exciting news for you. You know Master Electrical Service. They've been working on your home for years, installing all sorts of wonderful electrical things in your house because you don't do it yourself. Safety first. But Master Electrical Service has joined Mountain Home Services.
Yeah, and this is so exciting because what this means is all the great services that you get from Master Electrical Service, like installing that EV charger or installing that generator in your home. Well, now that they've combined with Mountain Home Services, they can provide other services to your house as well, like HVAC.
Yeah, they installed my furnace years ago. They've serviced it over the years. It's been fantastic. And I love one-stop shopping. So if they can take care of my electrical needs, my heating and air, my plumbing, it is Mountain Home Services.
And with that upfront pricing guarantee, means there's no hidden fees, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Make sure you check out Mountain Home Services by going to their website, mountainhomeutah.com.
Or give them a phone call, 801-543-2222. Again, 801-543-2222.
Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson.
Our goal every day on Inside Sources is to help you divide the rage from the reason, elevate the conversation, connect the dots, and make the news make sense in your world. We have conversations with great thinkers, with great leaders, and great people who are just out there making a difference in the world. Now, we do talk about politics, but only so we can discuss society and culture. And then we explore society and culture so we can discuss principles and the people in America and the state of Utah who actually live them and apply them every day. We bring the best and brightest minds to the state of Utah, and we love to take the Utah model and send it out to our nation's capital and beyond. Every day on Inside Sources, you'll be part of that conversation. To help you understand things in a different way, we'll get you to think again about what you think you know, but most important, we're going to help you have confidence to have crucial conversations in your community and in your own home.
Join Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson, 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Everything's a little better when it's super. Heroes, markets, sized, and of course, checks. A super check gives you an in-depth review of your current insurance coverage with a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent, no matter who your insurance provider is. That's super cool. Talk to a Farm Bureau agent to make sure you're properly covered at fbfs.com/protect. It's your future. Let's protect it. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
The KSL News Radio movie show comes to My Hearing Centers this Friday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers uses advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629 for more details. My Hearing Centers has offices from Ogden to St. George.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Jeff Kaplan.
I'm energized by breaking news. First of all, because it's right now, and second of all, because in many cases the audience needs to know. There's no more important service that we can provide, and I find it critically important to get more details to the audience as quickly as possible. There's nothing more energizing than that for me. Not at all. The most important thing we do is breaking news. I am gratified that so many people listen to me every afternoon on KSL, but what they don't know is that there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, checking on the traffic, answering the phones, making the calls, talking to the newsmakers. They're out in the street, into the field to get the raw information, and then putting it all together so that I can sit in front of a microphone and be a source of information every afternoon. But there are so many people who make it happen. That's what you don't know.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, state park officials are saying sudden weather changes contributed to recent drownings at Willard Bay. Second, students at Timpview High School in Provo could be ticketed for blocking access to mailboxes due to a new city ordinance. And third, in Texas, a woman who had a seizure, crashed into a canal, was saved thanks to her quick-thinking son who flagged down the police. 74 degrees, partly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. Priced out. Inflation. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
Yeah, inflation is besting us. It's to the point where we're pulling back. We just spoke with Robert Spendlove, Zions Bank, about what he's seeing from where he sits in terms of analyzing the economy. And then I'm looking at this TransUnion survey that came out. It was a survey between April and June of this year, Dave. And one of the areas that really caught my eye is we're cutting back on saving for retirement. 17% saying we've cut back on saving for retirement because everything's costing so much.
That makes sense because we need help now, not 40 years from now. It's very easy to neglect our future self for our present day self, but I think he hit it right on the head. We put up with it for a while. We had a little extra cash because of the stimulus money. There was some revenge travel involved in there, but now reality is setting in and we're having to break up with our spending habits.
So there's this famous phrase that it says the solution to high prices is high prices. So what that means is that people usually respond to higher prices by pulling back their demand. But since 2021, that has not been true. Even with higher prices, we were all, grouchy, but we kept spending. And it's because of this huge infusion of cash from the pandemic.
I will tell you, I am absolutely pulling back. I guess I didn't really realize how much I have pulled back, but my number one place where for years I've spent a ton of money is lunch. I've gone out to eat when I come into work in Salt Lake. I'm too lazy to pack my lunch and make that sandwich and bring it here. For years and years, I would just go out to lunch. I just grab something. It was costing me hundreds of dollars a month. Hundreds of dollars. I pack my lunch every single day now. Every single day. I am absolutely convinced. And I'm seeing the savings. And it has made a huge difference because I just can't pay $15 for a bad hamburger and French fry.
801-575-TALK. Where have you cut back or where have you noticed cutbacks in spending? Hi, Travis. Our producer says you own a tattoo parlor in Salt Lake City.
I do, yeah. And
thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you. So, yeah, it's been a rough summer, industry-wide. And I just wanted to comment, there are even some, really well-established shops that have been around for, 20-plus years that are going out of business this year. It's been an interesting trend to see. So, yeah, people have been cutting back on, that discretionary spending. And, yeah, the tattoo industry is feeling it pretty hard.
Well, and just I'm not very familiar with your industry, but when you talk about tattoos, it seems like that is probably one of the ultimate purchases that could be considered discretionary for many people, right? So it's you're just kind of stuck. Yeah.
Yep.
So how do you prepare for this, or how do you Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got like regular clients, and once you start a sleeve, you're looking at it all the time, and you're like, well, I want that finished. I don't want to just have line work or So people come back once they start. You don't want to leave work unfinished. So,
that's the key. You got to get them into a sleeve. That's like the subscription service, Travis. That's what you're doing.
Pretty much.
Thanks, Travis. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate your phone call. Keep us posted on how things go. I think that is definitely not the only industry that is noticing that pullback. Dave and I recently talking about Disney to some degree, noticing that people are changing their habits. Airbnb, reading another article this morning about how bookings are not as robust as they used to be. And then again, that goes to the travel and discretionary travel. Maybe we're deciding not to get an Airbnb, but to stay with mom and dad or an aunt or uncle, save some money.
But I would like to go back to what Robert Spenlove said. He's, the chief economist over at Zions Bank, and he said, and this will stick with me. What did he say? The solution to high prices is high prices. Mm-hmm. So all of these places where we've been paying a premium for Airbnb or Turo or tattoos or whatever it might be, or lunch. Now we're pulling back. I've already told you, $15, I'm not paying that for a hamburger or a roast beef sandwich or something like that. You're going to have to come back down. Now, there is a price point where I will start saying, okay, well, that's not so bad. Maybe I'll start eating out more often. But the problem is I've now been packing my lunch for so long, it's habitual. I'm doing it. It's not that big of a deal. So I've gotten out of the habit of going to lunch. I may never return to those old Dave Noriega ways of going out to lunch.
You won't. I started packing my lunch years ago, and even though sometimes I crave a Crown Burger, there's no doubt, and I wander over there and I sink my teeth into a Crown Burger, I mostly pack my lunch because you love the savings, right? You love the savings. It's also convenient. It's right at your desk. By the time we get off the show, we're so hungry. It's like you can just walk to your desk and get a little snack in the break. This survey from TransUnion says 31% of people are cutting back by canceling subscriptions or memberships. We talked about subscription services earlier in the show and President Biden trying to make it easier for us to cancel those subscriptions. But a third almost of us, a third have said enough is enough. I'm going to pull back on subscriptions. I am notorious for this. I will cancel a subscription. Sometimes it's to stick it to the man. I'm just like, I am so done with this company. I'm canceling. See, cancel. And then a month later, I'm back. But sometimes I notice, once I cancel, it's like, oh, I don't know why I was paying that extra $7 or $8 a month for the last few months. I wasn't really using that much. I tend to do that with Netflix. I go through phases and spurts of when a good show comes out, everybody's talking about, I'd sign back up for Netflix. And right now I'm on a Netflix hiatus, but I'm threatening to go back again, because there's some shows that I want to watch. One of our listeners on our text line, 57500, says they've canceled their car wash subscription.
Yes. Again, discretionary spending. Now, your car probably looks super gross and it's going to get all scratched. I like a clean car as much as the next, but we have to start making decisions. Let me tell you, as you were talking about subscriptions, one thing I noticed, and I forget this sometimes, we have so many streaming services for television, Netflix, Hulu, everything. 90% of the time, my kids are watching YouTube. Do you know what is free? YouTube. So there are ways to do it. Your kids want to watch YouTube anyway, folks. You don't need to have the 15 different services. They're just going to end up on YouTube Shorts or watching Mr. Beast, something like that. And that's all free. So there's ways to save some money, and subscriptions is a great example. Great place to start.
New data shows that Americans are pulling back from spending, and especially when it comes to discretionary spending. Straight ahead, Boyd Matheson of Inside Sources walking into studio to talk about what is going on with Ukraine's invasion of Russia. We have since learned earlier in the show that Ukraine has marched 380 square miles. That's the amount of territory that they've taken over in Russia. So Boyd will talk to us about what impact this will have on the race for president.
KSL-FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. Search and rescue teams have had a rough go in Emery County because of the thunderstorms. Man there has been missing in the Little Wild Horse Canyon area since Saturday. Flash flood warnings held back rescue efforts. They'll continue that search today, of course, weather permitting. Parking in the neighborhood around Timpview High School has been a problem for several years because of ongoing construction. So Provo City has passed a new ordinance to keep students from parking in front of mailboxes.
Citizens have tried to put signs on their mailboxes saying, please don't park here, but that hasn't worked. And, educating and asking hasn't worked.
City Council member Catrice McKay says some neighbors have had to go days or weeks without mail deliveries because their mailboxes were blocked. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Democrats hold their national convention next week. President Biden will, of course, be speaking. The White House staff says the president is working on a speech at Camp David this weekend, expected to make a strong endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris, as well as talking about the stakes in this election. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average strongly up, 342 points right now. The NASDAQ is up as well, 378 right now. And our KSL weather. Yeah, we could see some more thunderstorms this afternoon, but then it dries out. That's next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
You know what's great about KSL's traffic coverage? Trained traffic reporters and real listeners.
Trading information and making the commute safer and faster for everyone.
Every 10 minutes on the nines, we have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Sam's Club today. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Breathe easy.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
When you're getting a new roof installed, you don't want to wonder, when are they going to be done? Or even worse, what are they doing up there? You'll never have to ask when you hire IWC Roofing, because their team of certified installers will be texting you pictures from the roof. You're going to know exactly what's going on and what you're getting for your money. And on most homes, they'll do the entire job in one day. In, out, cleaned up, and they'll even power wash your driveway just to say thank you. Now, you think you'd pay a premium for this level of service, but IWC does so many roofs. They get the material for less, and they pass the savings on to you. IWC is an Owens Corning certified platinum contractor. Of course, financing is available. Even better, their summer special, up to $2,000 off your quote. But you have to make the call. $2,000 off right now. Call IWC Roofing, 801-232-5690. That's 801-232-5690. Or go to IWCRoofingUtah.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Michelle Rowe.
Well, I-15 corridor pretty quiet right now, Dan. Seeing good speeds from Ogden all the way down to Provo and beyond. See a little bit of slowing, though. This is on Bangerter Highway, affecting both directions, right around the 201 freeway. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Weather is cooler today, a high of 86 with a chance of monsoon thunderstorms again this afternoon and tomorrow. We'll dry out Thursday through Saturday with highs getting back up into the mid-90s. 77 degrees, partly cloudy right now. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. Dave and Dujanovic have inside sources.
CNN is reporting that Ukraine has seized, or says it seized, as much land in a week as Russia has so far this year. Ukraine, for those of you who haven't kept up, because I know this war, it started in February 2022. It's been going on, so we might not, be up to date on the latest. What was it, Dave? How many miles? It's like some 18 miles.
Yeah, they were 18
Russia?
miles in. Some reports have it as deep as 80 miles into Russia. But it's about 400 square miles. To put it into perspective, Russia has seized 100,000 square miles, or square kilometers, I should say.
Of Ukraine.
So, maybe, what is that, 50,000, 40,000 something square miles. So.
Boyd, before we get to what your inside sources are saying about this and how this might impact the presidential race here in this country, I just want to get a little more information from ABC's Ian Pannell, who's been covering this story.
Thousands of Ukrainian troops are now believed to have crossed in the last week around Kursk and now Belgorod. These are two places, by the way, that are used to launch attacks against Ukraine. Fierce firefights have been reported as Russia urgently sends in its defensive units. It's attacking with drones and aircraft. Over 100,000 residents have now been forced to flee their homes.
Boyd, what does this mean?
This is really significant. So while it's not big in terms of comparison to what Russia has seized in Ukraine, the thing that this has exposed is what the Russian army and military actually is. And it is very good. The Russians are very good under Vladimir Putin of amassing soldiers and weapons and inching their way forward in very bloody battles, to put it very bluntly. And that is all they have done over the last 2 years. And so the one thing that has been exposed in all of this is that Russia does not have the ability to maneuver, because that's exactly what Ukraine did. Ukraine went in from different points of the compass. They went in with a very different strategy. And so they've completely exposed Russia in terms of what their capacity is. And so now what's had to happen, Russia has actually had to retreat. And guess how they do that? En masse. And so they have been sitting ducks, so to speak, in lines. And so that's also allowed Ukraine to go in with drones and with other weapons and take out assets. Very important from the ABC reporting, saying that these were strategic locations from which Russia was launching and supplying. So this is a game changer. This is a dynamic changer. But it also changes a lot of the conversations everywhere around the world. For the allies, Germany has said, we will give you weapons because you are clearly fighting to win. And so we will give you weapons, and they are then your weapons, not ours. You use them however you like. That's going to create conflict and some challenges right here at home, because we have had the position as the United States, the administration has said, we will give you these weapons, but you can't use those in Russian territory. State Department yesterday just kept the waters very muddy. They were asked specifically about it in their presser yesterday, saying, hey, Germany's saying they're your weapons. You do what you want in your best interest to defend yourself. And the State Department said, yes, Ukraine can decide how they want to prosecute the war, but we haven't changed our policy. In other words, saying we still don't want them to use our weapons over Russian territory.
So our weapons are given with restrictions.
Correct. That's right. Strings attached to those. Europe is not doing that. Germany in particular, they really led the way on that, saying, no, if we're going to give you weapons, we're going to give you weapons. And the moment we give them to you, they're yours.
See, this is where, as I've been following this for the last 2.5 years, I am baffled by our response. It is that very thing. Hey, we're going to give you a little bit at a time, slow turn. And I cannot erase from my memory when Russia was first coming and marching on Kyiv. They've got a 40-mile-long convoy, basically all on one road. All of their tanks and armored personnel carriers and supply lines, 40 miles worth. Any general in the world would look at that as a prime target, but we didn't give any sort of support. A B-2 bomber could have carpet bombed that entire convoy out of existence in a matter of an afternoon. But we tied their hands at every turn and said, you can use it here, but not there. And it has cost tens of thousands of lives.
Yeah.
And I am just devastated, Russian and Ukrainian.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we do this. I don't understand the strategy behind it.
Yeah, and I think the administration has really functioned from a position of ratchet down and appeasement. Not wanting to have the broader war, not to having the bigger war, not wanting Russia to be able to use the threat of using nuclear weapon, and so on and so on and so on. And so the administration has really been about ratchet down at any cost and every turn. And because of that, it was that drip, drip, drip in terms of getting things just in time, just enough to allow Ukraine to maintain, but not to fight to win. And that's been the real difference. And that's the point, Debbie, that I think pivots us to how this plays out in the fall. This is clearly going to be an election year issue. Obviously, the Republicans will take it one way, although there's a lot of overlap. But this is also going to be a significant challenge when you look at the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, and the Biden-Walz ticket for the Democrats. Will those be the same? If President Biden isn't well on a given day, is Vice President Harris in the room making those decisions? And if so, she needs to talk to the press about what the strategy is or what the policy is. And so there's a lot of complexities that are going to play out in relationship to what's happening in Ukraine, just based on the politics of it all.
Well, I just want to read from the CNN article. The one of the headlines or the subtitles is "How has Putin reacted?" In 2 words, with fury. Held an emergency meeting yesterday. Has promised to kick the enemy out. And so as we look at the presidential campaign, whether it's Trump or Harris, they both got to be thinking, like, what will Putin do?
Yeah, yeah.
And how will we react? Because there's been a lot of talk that he could escalate this.
Yeah, that's right. And that is Vladimir Putin. That's his strategy first, last, and always. Yes. Rattle the sabers, threaten nuclear. That's kind of how he has operated, always operated. And yet he has the most unstrategic military in history. All they do is amass. They amass bodies and military armament and inch their way forward because they don't care. And really interesting, I also got a lot of reports about the state of the Russian soldiers. Haven't been paid, don't have access to medical care, they're getting weapons that have been gerrymandered and jerry-rigged with duct tape and baling wire. I mean, they have tanks that have things strapped on them from North Korea. Wow. And so there's a lot of things that are going on underneath the surface there. So then what does Vladimir Putin do? Does he see the U.S. election as an opportunity to lean in and maybe play a little more aggressive? Or does Ukraine continue to fight to win, and suddenly he's really on his back heels? And then Vladimir Putin has to start making some different decisions. So that part's going to be fascinating to see how that plays. But I think it is one of those things where everyone has to step back and say, okay, Ukraine has proven something. One, in terms of fighting to win matters. And the other thing will be the test. The big test will they be able to maintain this area that they've taken over? And does that start to change? It's one thing to capture it. It's another thing to retain it. And I think that will be the real hard part. And again, that requires Ukraine to have the assets to actually continue to do that.
And the new Ukrainian strategy, it seems to me, is the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Now you're moving into, you've crossed a line, and I wonder if this is just the tip of the iceberg, or if they'll be pressing their advantage right now, or if they scale back and this is the first step toward negotiation.
Yeah, they are on their front foot. Ukraine is. They are fighting with a lot of confidence. They've recognized, wow, we can outmaneuver Russia in a lot of different ways. So I think they're leaning into that. Now, also remember, we have a window before winter, and then everything will really kind of grind to a halt just because of the terrain. And so it's interesting that last window of kind of the fighting season is what they call it in Europe. That fighting season, that window starts to close at the same time elections in the United States are taking place. So a very interesting convergence that will have political implications, have geopolitical implications, have implications for freedom in a lot of places, not just in Ukraine.
The first time Russia has been invaded since World War II, when it was the Nazis. Yeah. So, Boyd, thank you so much for joining us.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Dave and Debbie go out of their way to make sure you hear all sides of a story.
They're working the phones to get several viewpoints on for you.
Hi, it's Tim and Amanda. We get you the full story, too.
We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza!
Oh,
Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular's single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Smith Entertainment breaks ground for a new Utah Hockey Club training facility at the Shops at Southtown.
Wait, what? Is this going to cost me my business?
Maybe. Hockey fever in Utah, the upside and the other side.
But I don't want to move.
This week on KSL News Radio.
With summer almost over and fall on the way, Zero Res has you covered. For a limited time, you can have 3 rooms clean plus get your hallway clean free. That's $99 plus a hallway for this week only. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Schedule your appointment at ZeroRes.com or call 801-288-9376 and ask for the KSL special. Spell it backward or forward. It's the right way to clean.
If you're looking for the perfect balance in a perfect meal, you're looking for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You're going to love the incredible choices. They've got it all, of course. It's a steakhouse, but they also have seafood and poultry, all kinds of amazing side dishes, and the desserts are absolutely off the chart. Incredible choices are waiting for you right now at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And it's been a long summer. The kids are getting back in school. It's time for you to have a break. Make your reservation now for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and let the pros do all the work. And they have 2 locations, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Hotel Park City and right in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City at 275 Southwest Temple. And don't forget, if you're planning for a party, a special event, a celebration, or a birthday, whatever it might be, it's time to contact Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Park City and downtown Salt Lake City.
Attention homeowners considering roof replacement in 2024. Light up your home this August with Master Roofing. Schedule your roof replacement by September 10th and receive a free V-Lux sun tunnel valued at $1,200. Perfect for brightening your bathrooms and hallways. Don't miss out. Visit masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free assessment and claim your free VLUX sun tunnel. Call 801-383-0072 or visit masterroofingutah.com today. Light up your home with Master Roofing.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Eric Ramos, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam at Revive Men's Health, Salt Lake City. Call 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, flash flood warning held back rescue efforts in case of a man missing in Little Wild Horse Canyon. Second, a new parking ordinance in Provo could result in tickets for Timpview High School students who are used to parking in front of mailboxes. And third, President Biden busy writing a speech for next week's Democratic convention in Chicago. 77 degrees, partly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Well, the Biden administration wants to make it easier for you to get unstuck from your subscriptions.
Americans are tired of being played for suckers.
Well, yesterday, the Biden administration announced it's trying to implement rules that would make it easier to cancel subscriptions. Everything from gyms to magazines to monthly makeup boxes.
From excessive paperwork and unreasonable hold times to the endless hurdles some companies make you jump through.
Under a proposal from the Federal Trade Commission, companies would have to make it at least as easy to cancel something as it was to subscribe. So you let people sign up online? Well, great. That means they have to be able to cancel online. You let them subscribe in less than 4 clicks? Well, that's how many clicks your cancellation policy now has to take.
Let me tell you, I love this. I love that the Biden administration has tackled this. It is not too small. This is the bane of my existence. And to try to make it simple, some places it is absolutely that. I think about my iPhone right now. I can go in to subscriptions and it is one click. I can bring up a subscription. I can cancel it. It is so easy. I love that it is that easy. That is not my experience 90% of the time. It is usually a headache. It is a phone call and an email and a text message, and we'll get back to you, and then I get on the phone, and I'm on hold. It's a nightmare.
Or you don't know when your subscription is coming due.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so the next thing you do, you check your credit card notifications, and there it is again. And that becomes tricky, especially with things like maybe magazine subscriptions. Like you order a magazine, and then a few months later, you get a renewal notice. Maybe you are an office manager and you're responsible for ordering 4 or 5 or 6 different magazines for the waiting room, right? So you got all these magazine subscriptions going. You can't remember where to renew, but they make you feel like it's going
imminent.
to renew.
Yeah.
So you renew it, not realizing
you just extended for another 2.5 years. Like, you're good for 2 years. Do you want to make sure that's a third year on there?
So you like what the Biden administration is doing. You said earlier, it sounds like small potatoes, but those are important potatoes to you.
I love potatoes. I still love potatoes, and I love that they're tackling some of these everyday things, junk fees. That's what they tackled the first time. So when you buy a ticket or an airline ticket, a concert ticket, something along those lines, what they've pressured these companies into doing is saying, if you're going to charge a $14 fee for here or a $25 fee for that, you have to make that very clear up front. You can't just hide it at the very end at checkout where you think you're paying $100 out the door and it's really $160 with all the fees. So they tackled junk fees. I appreciate it. I've seen a difference. I've seen a difference at the airport. And I love that they're doing it now. I love that they're doing it now with canceling subscriptions.
Well, there's also a new Utah law on the books that targets auto renewal subscriptions. So these are like, the car wash subscriptions that automatically renew every month that you might lose track of, or other, maybe it's a gym membership. State Senator Todd Weiler, you were responsible for dealing with auto renewal subscriptions, and you got it signed into law. So what will this do when it takes effect?
Well, I think it took effect July 1st. I can't remember if we extended the date, but I think it's in effect. But this was a bill that Representative Cheryl Acton ran in the House, and then I carried it to the Senate for her. But it's very similar to what you guys are talking about. It makes them give notice that you're set, so you're going to get an email or whatever whatever way you communicate. They're going to have to give it in bold print and tell you all this stuff. It's very similar to what you're talking about, but we've all been guilty of that. And this applies, and this is my favorite sob story, is, when you get like a 10-day free trial or a 30-day free trial or even a 9-day free trial, I try to go in my calendar and put in the date and the cancellation information, and I still mess it up half the time. But let me just say, in response to what Dave said, I love that the federal government wants to tackle this because I think it's an important issue. But we all learned in 8th grade that the executive branch, the Biden administration, they're supposed to be enforcing the laws. So this is something that should be done by Congress. And I as a Republican, I get a little bit annoyed when the executive branch tries to create the law and then enforce it. We were supposed to have 3 separate branches, and that's forgotten a lot in the White House.
But then you would have to convince Congress to actually come together and agree on something, and I think they've shown that they're not willing to do that.
Well,
and sometimes
you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there, but just abrogating that responsibility to a dictator is not the solution either.
That's true.
I'm not saying that we have a dictator, but if we keep down this road, we will.
But that's what happens, right? In every branch will take whatever power they are given. And if you're not going to do anything on the congressional side, then the executive branch is going to take it more than willingly.
And more than anything, I just want to point out, we did this the right way in Utah. This went through both chambers in the legislature. It was signed into law by the governor. And unless we have usually our laws go into effect on May, the first week of May or the first day of July if it has a fiscal note. So I'll have to check on this.
Yeah, well, we can get our D2 research department to verify that that's already gone into effect by looking at the legislative website. Okay. Well, so what this will mean is if I sign up for like even a gym membership at it auto renews every month, they have to notify me that it's auto renewing. And then if I choose to cancel it, I just go in and whatever way I cancel it, I cancel it, right? I mean, is that so this is it. Now, does this cover all subscriptions? So I don't necessarily look at like my insurance plan as a subscription, but the thing is they do automatically like dip into my checking account every few months or every year or whatever it is and take out money. So does it apply to them too?
I don't think it applies to your insurance because the last thing you want to do is get in a car accident and find out your insurance canceled, 2 months before you're not covered. So I'm not sure that this.
So this is more like insurance. Netflix or something that the streaming services. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they don't do this, if the companies don't comply, then what? What happens?
They're going to get fined and sanctioned by the Utah government, by the Department of Commerce.
Fined and sanctioned. Turn the tables. I love it. I'm so happy about this. Senator Todd Weiler, thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
you both. Senator. Great to talk to you. Make sure you check your calendar. Make sure you're remembering when all your subscriptions renew, because that's super easy to do. So we've both been down this road before where we find either something's auto-renewed on us, we didn't remember, or we get stuck in a loop. They call it a doom loop, where you can't cancel. You're put through all kinds of hoops to cancel. Or, and this is what the Biden administration is tackling, like we're told, like you were, and like what our caller was told earlier, who, by the way, said he was homeless for a few months. He was trying to cancel a gym membership, He was living in another state, didn't have the money to get back, and they said you have to show up in person to cancel it.
And he still couldn't get out.
He had to show up, whatever. It took a while for him to get the money and get back here and then cancel the gym membership.
Now, there are apps out there right now, Truebill, Billbot, Bobby, Trim. There's Rocket Money. They will track your subscriptions and help keep you on pace.
Do I need a subscription for those?
That is a great question. Debbie, how ironic would that be? You've got to pay a subscription to a subscription service that'll keep track of your subscriptions. Amazing. That's a business model. Well done.
It does feel like we're just stuck in subscription. I don't know. It's like the wheel of subscriptions goes round and round and round. Straight ahead, federal law enforcement, FBI, looking into claims that Iran has been hacking or meddling in both presidential campaigns' emails. So we're going to speak live straight ahead with the national security expert on, what the investigation will accomplish and how easy is it for these foreign countries, foreign actors, to access campaign emails. Next.
It's 11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top local story this hour. A 19-year-old man has been arrested in connection to a shooting that injured a 55-year-old woman in the Glendale area of Salt Lake City last weekend. Police say Apisai Matilau and one other person were seen approaching her house and shooting into it. They believe the shooting is gang-related. The woman has serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. This week, President Zelensky of Ukraine has confirmed for the first time that his forces are pushing into Russian territory. Retired General Robert Abrams, an ABC News contributor, outlined some of the reasons why Ukraine may have crossed the border.
It's a huge boost to the morale of the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian armed forces, and hugely demoralizing to Russia.
The offensive took Russia and President Vladimir Putin by surprise. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average strongly up today, 325 points up, and the NASDAQ is up right now, 381. Our KSL weather, we've got some sunshine right now, but we could see thunder showers in the afternoon. KSL News Time, 11:31.
We hope you have the right app on your phone for news. You probably have dozens.
But the KSL News Radio app, well, it makes our live stream super easy.
Plus, our talk shows are right there as podcast for your workday.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Have you ever noticed when you're looking at your shower walls, the scum that is on there, and you got to bust out the jackhammer to get it removed? Well, that's what happens when you have hard water running through your home. It's why my wife and I decided to invest in a Kinetico water softener. And quite honestly, that's exactly how we looked at it. We looked at it as an investment. A lot of times people will say, you just like them because they gave you a free water softener. No, I paid for one. I bought it, same price as everybody else. But we noticed a difference on day one. It was fantastic for our skin. We have very dry skin in our family, so it made a huge difference. Soft water has been wonderful for the skin, but it has also been great for cleaning. So again, no jackhammer needed to clean the scum off your walls, and it also breathes life into your expensive appliances, your water heater, your dishwasher, your faucets. We've loved having soft water from Kinetico. I would give them a call right now, 801-576-8600. That's Kinetico of Utah. They're an authorized Kinetico dealer, 801-576-8600. Or, of course, you can check them out online by going to softwaterutah.com.
When you crash your car, you get it fixed. When your computer crashes, you get a new one. But what will you do if you've been saving in a 401k or an IRA and the market crashes? If you're in your 30s or 40s, you'll be just fine. But if you're in or near retirement, you could be in trouble. Mike Stevens and his team at Capital Wealth Advisors are here to help. They can run a risk analysis to see if you're too heavily invested in the market. Don't let the ups and downs of Wall Street control you or your retirement dreams. Call 801-210-5500 today to schedule your risk analysis with Mike Stevens and the team at Capital Wealth Advisors. That's 801-210-5500. Crashes happen. Question is, are you ready? Capital Wealth Advisors, 801-210-5500. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor.
Hi, Utah. It's Congressman Burgess Owens. Did you know that Team Owens can expedite passport services to help you get to where you're going quicker? Plus, we've helped secure a new passport office opening soon in Salt Lake City to make services even easier. For passport help or assistance with federal agencies, give us a call at 801-999-9801 or visit owens.house.gov. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The KSL News Radio Movie Show comes to My Hearing Centers this Friday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers uses advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629 for more details. My Hearing Centers has offices from Ogden to St. George.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Michelle Rowe.
I'm looking at a live shot of a crash in Ogden. This is southbound Washington Boulevard at 24th Street, blocking a right lane. Also hearing scanner chatter of a two-vehicle crash in West Valley. This is about 2600 south, 3200 west. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cooler today with a high of 86 and a chance of monsoon thunderstorms again. Will dry out Thursday through Saturday with highs back into the mid-90s. And right now, 80 degrees, partly cloudy skies. I'm Dan Bomis from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Well, according to the Washington Post and also other news organizations reporting that the FBI is investigating what could be hacking attempts by Iran targeting both a Trump associate, a former President Trump associate, and his advisors, as well, to the Biden-Harris campaign. So we've got two situations going on, one in each of the campaigns. Let's get a little more from ABC News' Catherine Falders.
We know the FBI is investigating the Trump campaign's claims that Iran has hacked into some of their systems and leaked documents. So we know the FBI is investigating those claims. We've also learned that in addition to that investigation, that they're also investigating an alleged Iranian hack into the Biden-Harris campaign.
Are we surprised? I am 0% surprised. This does not surprise me on any level. Did we forget Russia? Do we not remember the 2016 election, how involved they were in the disinformation campaign, the hacks, state actors, Russia, Iran? This is what they do. They're trying to, throw our political system into chaos. And I hate to break the news to you, we probably do the exact same thing. We have our own counterintelligence agencies, and this is what we do to each other. It is a dirty part of the game, but we play it.
I want to find out what Iran's interest would be. I mean, what are they looking for? How do these emails turn into like infections in computers, and then they're able to wind their way through? And I do wonder with all of these campaigns hiring so many staff members, if that creates a special security challenge. If, for example, a staff member isn't familiar with an email, they open it up, and then before you know it, it's infected, and a foreign actor has all kinds of access to all kinds of things. Brandon Amacher, did I say that right?
Yes.
Hi, Director of Emerging Tech Policy Lab. Oh, that's you're an instructor at UVU Center for National Security Studies. Thanks for joining Dave and I.
Thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
So, what do you make of this hack?
I would say not surprised. Kind of sitting in the cyber threat intelligence circles that I do, I know how active, Iran and some of these other they're claiming it's Iran, but, also China, Russia, several others are in this space. And obviously political campaigns are going to be a major target of nation state cyber operations. So, not surprised in the slightest. In a way, just it was probably a matter of time before this happened.
Let's talk about the way they could infiltrate. It seems as though, at least with the Biden and Harris campaign, 3 staffers got these spear phishing emails that kind of look legit. But I guess if you click on those, that could open up a whole can of worms, right?
Yes. So, there's a few different ways that you could, potentially infiltrate an organization through a phishing email. One would be, you open a link or you open a file or attachment, and that attachment has malicious software on it or malware, which then infects the computer and can then facilitate, either a ransomware operation, data exfiltration, whatever it might be. A more simple way would be, hey, you have them click on something that perhaps takes them to a fake website in which they then enter their credentials. Then you steal their username and password, and you try to use that to log into several different services, which perhaps could contain sensitive things. So, for example, if I redirect you to a fake Microsoft or Google landing page and have you enter your username and password, then I could use that to compromise your entire account and steal that data.
Do we do the same thing? I just thought, listen, I know everyone else is attacking us. We probably play the same games, don't we? Do we reach out and do we have a little cyber counter attack?
So in terms of offensive cyber operations, the U.S. does participate in offensive cyber operations. In terms of, directly infiltrating political campaigns in foreign nations, I can't speak directly to that, but I can tell you that the U.S. is a very sophisticated offensive cyber player, and that our capabilities are, far exceed that of our, by most people's analysis, far exceed that of our adversaries.
So I was just given this really long title by our producer. It looks like you've got a lot going on in terms of security. Brandon Amacher is the director of Emerging Tech Policy Lab. And she put in here for the 13SC. I hadn't heard of that before. Intermountain Intelligence Industry and Security Consortium. You're also an instructor at the UVU Center for National Security Studies. On the line live with us as we're talking about the FBI and its investigation into hacks or attempted hacks on both Trump and Harris campaigns, cyber-wise. What do people need to look out for? And I do worry that, I know these campaigns, I was just listening, in fact, to a New York Times podcast. They were in, I believe it was Wisconsin, and they were tracking behind all of these new campaign volunteers for the Harris campaign. And they were going door to door, and all these new volunteers are showing up to help. And that's just one example. I know the Trump campaign is doing similar activities. But I think all of the campaign staff they're adding, there's got to be somebody on that staff that doesn't know how to identify one of these emails that could just really, give a foreign actor access to, give them the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah, campaigns kind of present a unique problem because, I've worked with a lot of large, Fortune 500, Fortune 50 companies on, their security programs. And even a large, organization which has grown over time is difficult to keep secure. A campaign is, an organization which pops up very quickly. It is meant to be a temporary thing. So, it pops up quickly, it grows quickly, and then also, like you said, because of kind of the volunteer aspect of it, in terms of really keeping track of who has access to what, how many people we have there, who needs credentials, who needs to have those credentials revoked. It's comparable to trying to build a home security system versus trying to secure a portable tent, right? So it's very, very difficult just because of that temporary and kind of the nature of the rapid deployment of the organization. So, yeah, you hit the nail on the head in terms of both personnel and just the fact that you don't really have time for the organization, the campaign, to become security mature because it's kind of contrary to the nature of a campaign.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Such great insight, Brandon Amacher, the director of a very long title. Forgive me, but I know you as the instructor at UVU's National Security Studies. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, really great insight. So appreciate it. We'll try to get your title consolidated. Something I can.
Wait, is that Brandon Amaker, the Emerging Tech Policy Lab for 13SC, Intermountain Intelligence Agency, Industry and Security Consortium? Is that who we were talking to?
Yes. A lot smarter than we are, for sure. Thank you so much. Hey, I saw a story on KSL television, just a really great story about what's going on in the Davis School District to help kids who, just need a little extra help buying school supplies and clothes. And this is such a great program. I so wish I would have known about it. I would have totally volunteered, but let's ask them straight ahead if there's still time to volunteer for the child spree. We're going to talk about what that is next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Current events can have a lot of moving parts. Our job is to make it easy to keep up.
You're part of a bigger world, so spend 15 or 20 minutes here and be part of it.
Join us weekday mornings between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio. With interest rates coming back down, I bet the real estate market will pick back up in 2024. We're already seeing that, Tim.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter how the market is doing when you have the right team. So if you're looking to sell your house, now you want to downsize or you need more space, you need the Stern team.
The Stern team has taught us, I can think of a handful of things that I would worry about if I was buying or selling, but there are 100 details that are involved in selling a home, and they have lots of people that are handling every detail so nothing falls through the cracks.
And they have so many different options. I mean, I worked with Cammie there at the Stern team, and she was awesome. But if you need an instant cash offer, you can do that. If you need to buy before you sell, you can do that. They have flexible fees.
They also have people that they represent that are looking to buy a home, so maybe they can make that perfect connection within the Stern team.
So don't put off selling your house or buying a house because you think the market isn't just right. The market is right with the Stern team.
Go online to sternteam.com or just Google the Stern team.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Beat the heat this summer with a desert adventure in Beatty, Nevada. Beatty is so hot that it's cool. Discover the Old West and desert beauty, loaded with family value and adventure with anything from tours, hiking, biking, ATV trails, and great eateries, and the best stargazing in the West. Beatty is the most scenic entrance to Death Valley National Park and your entryway to true desert adventure. Explore the ghost town of Rhyolite or the world-famous Nut and Candy Company and Historic Museum. Beatty has hundreds of miles of trails for hikers, mountain bikers, and off-roading. And don't forget, Beatty Days, October 25th through the 27th. Beatty Days is an entire weekend of fun, complete with Old West shootouts, ICS chili cook-offs, 2K and 5K races, live music, bed races, desert art, a classic car show, a cornhole tournament, model railroads, vendors, food, and contests for everyone. Just 95 miles from Las Vegas. For info, visit BeattyNevada.org. Tell them you heard it on the radio and get a free gift at BeattyNevada.org.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. With over 40 years of experience, Universal Media is an out-of-home media company that specializes in place-based advertising at shopping malls, lifestyle hubs, and city centers. Senior Vice President of Universal Media, Robin Cohen, joins us with more.
My father-in-law, who pioneered shopping mall advertising, ran Universal Media until his passing in 2021. Now, under my husband's leadership and vision, we're navigating the company's next chapter. At Universal Media, we're revolutionizing out-of-home media. We thrive on producing unique, engaging, and game-changing mediums that reach consumers at key points in the decision-making process. I joined the team to contribute to the growth of this new phase, which includes transitioning from static to digital, but it also includes ad-supported EV charging units. By engaging audiences in their natural environments, whether they're dining or working, shopping, or simply enjoying downtime, we ensure our client's message is not just seen, but it's felt and remembered. So let's define the possibilities of out-of-home media together. Visit universalmediaus.com to get started.
Universal Media is more than an out-of-home media company. They are a business's bridge to the future of immersive, impactful, and unforgettable advertising. You can learn more on their website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, a 19-year-old has been arrested after a shooting that injured a 55-year-old woman in the Glendale neighborhood. Second, more monsoon storms expected today. Salt Lake City Airport has had more rain in the last 24 hours than the last 2 months combined. Third, Ukraine's president has confirmed for the first time that his forces have been pushing into Russian territory. 80 degrees, partly cloudy right now in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic, heart of Utah. Dave and Debbie have special coverage.
I really love it when we can talk about something that is making a difference in people's lives, and that's what this Heart of Utah is all about. Of course, Dave and I had a special connection to the Davis Education Foundation when we went live and talked about all the great things they do for kids in the Davis School District. A year ago, 2 years ago, we were doing a lot of work with it. And then I read that they have been promoting this child spree. And it's awesome. I want to learn all about it because I think this could be an effective way for school districts all over Utah to help kids who parents don't have the money to buy school supplies and put them in, some new outfits for the school year.
One of the things that was an aha moment for me was how prevalent, how prolific homelessness or home insecurity is in Utah with kids, with teenagers, with young kids. They just don't have the resources. They don't know where they're going to lay their head that night, or it's constantly moving. This is a massive problem. Such a problem that you've got schools and all across Davis County, I'm thinking of specifically, but really all over the state, that have built resource centers for kids that are struggling with the basic necessities of where to take a shower, where to do some laundry, get a snack. And they've opened up these resource centers maybe not totally inside the school, but like right next door.
So, yeah.
And it's been an incredible success.
Jody Lunt, our friend and executive director of the Davis Education Foundation. I read this story on KSL5 Television's website this morning, and I was like, I hope we can get Jody on the air. I'm so excited to learn about the child spree, and I want to know if I can sign up because I miss, taking my kids back to school shopping because they're older now. So let us know, fill us in on what this is all about, Jody.
Well, thank you for having me on today. I'm always thrilled to share the great work that's happening here in Davis County and in our school district. Well, Child Spree has been about a 15-year tradition in Davis School District where we have counselors and administrators and teachers identify our most vulnerable students who might be having a hard time getting ready to get back to school and put learning first. So we, as you said, may I help? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to sign you up as one of our first volunteers for next year. And Dave, you're welcome to come right along because we're at all 3 Kohl's stores, so pick a place that's close to your home. These students are identified. We have them create a very private and discreet video that is dismissed and it cannot go on and be replicated, that the shopper can get to know all about a young person, like my name's Jody and I love purple and my first day of school I'd like to have a unicorn shirt and such as that. And you get a little feel for their personality and what they like, and then our shoppers, due to incredible community partners, I'll donate the funds so that the shopper then receives $150 $150 card that they go shop. And Kohl's is great because they give us additional discounts in the store. They're shopped for, it's bagged up, it's delivered to the school, and then the parents can pick it up so that on the first day they are ready to learn, along with a new backpack and school supplies.
Jody, I'm looking into Debbie's eyes right now, and she's like, sign me up for all the unicorn T-shirts. I will buy them out, and you can distribute them freely. What a great,
I love it.
What a great program you have here. So how do people get involved with this, and how do they get signed up? And what's the need like? How many kids out there are you looking to help?
Well, this year we were able to help about just over 500 students, and that comes from all of our elementary. And our Child Spree is focused at our elementary school. We have a great opportunity for people at Christmas time. Right around November, we will identify 500 additional junior high students, and that partnership is with Amazon. And we create a wish list, and people go on, and it's anonymous to the student, pick the items, and have it shipped to the school. Again, the school will be anonymous to where they ship to because they don't know the back on that one. And those students will have shoes and coats and gloves and the essentials they need there. So how do you get involved? DavisEducationFoundation.org. If you visit our website, there's a couple places to click and become a volunteer, or there's our phone number. You can leave me your name and your information. You can email me. We are so excited to have anyone and everyone come and help our young people. You can help physically by shop, financially by sponsoring a child for $150 or $50 or whatever your amount might be. Every dollar makes a difference.
Jody, I love it. We're speaking live right now to Jody Lunt. She's the executive director of the Davis Education Foundation, and all the ways that they're helping children whose parents are just going through some tough times, and these kiddos just need our help and our support. I really like this $150, is it like a Kohl's gift card that you give to volunteers, and then they can go and spend it at the Kohl's, and then the child will receive the items that they need for the start of school. And I also noticed in the KSL5 television story, Jody, that the shopper can also contribute on top of that. So you're not limited to 150. If you have had some blessings that year, or you've got a little extra money, maybe you want to put in 100 or 150 of your own money. So now the child will receive even more back to school supplies.
Absolutely, and we appreciate it, and we're deeply grateful when a shopper may say, oh, I'm not going to put that next sweatshirt away, or I'll get an extra set of underwear for them, or I think they could use one more unicorn T-shirt, as we're joking about today. But it is an opportunity for the community to come. It keeps discretion and dignity to the student because we're not exposing and putting them out there, but at the same time we're allowing you to meet them. And then we're allowing for the parent to take the items and give them to the child and help out like any other parent does as they prepare their student to be ready to learn. We know that if you fit in, we know that if you're clean and you're safe and you're fed, learning comes so much easier, and students can exceed the expectation and become their most incredible self.
Jody, can you help remind our listeners, this was such a shocking moment for me when you talked about how many kids here are in need of some of these basic necessities, as far as just the basics of life, a place to lay your head at night, and have a little food and access to laundry.
Absolutely. In Davis School District, our numbers at the close of last year were just over 1,500 students who are experiencing housing insecurity, or, as according to the federal government, they're McKinney-Vento and homeless. That ranges from our little kindergartners all the way up to our 12th graders. Now, when we talk Child Spree and we do 500 and are able to serve 500, that does not just include students who are experiencing housing insecurity. It experiences what you just said, Debbie. Many parents right now, with the economic conditions and the housing conditions that we have, are struggling to just keep up with the basics. And this is a great opportunity for those, how you said, are a little blessed right now, to spread the blessings a little further so that all can experience some great joy during this time of year.
Jody Lunt, Thank you for joining us, the Executive Director of Utah Education Foundation.
Jody, sign me up for the Christmas one, too, the holiday one. So
you are on.
I want to be on the list for this year and for next school year, and then just keep me on
all
the
the
list
unicorn T-shirts
in perpetuity. Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Jody.
Well, I say thank you to you and to any of your listeners. DavisEducationFoundation.org. We welcome all of you to come and participate and help us take care of these great kids.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody, for joining us, and thanks to the Davis Education Foundation for making sure those kids are heading back to school with the clothes they need and the supplies they need.
1,500 kids with housing insecurity. I had no idea the number was so high.
We've had a developing story during the show, and Maria is going to give you more details on it. There's 2 individuals who've been arrested in the fatal shooting of a man at the Mount Olympus trailhead. Maria's got details.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time is 12 o'clock noon, and this is Utah's Noon News. I'm Maria Shaleos. KSL's top story this hour.